What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, damas y caballeros, everyone that is here to watch the live stream, the live Geeks Forever podcast on a Wednesday? That is right. This is one of our special episodes and officially has now become part one of our Queens of Cosplay podcast special. I am your temporary I'm just here to introduce the show. I'm not going to be on the show, but I am the host with the most chaotic podcast and panel host in all of Texas. That's right. I bring the pain, you bring the ass, and I bring the whooping. And I will troll the crap out of Anime Matsuri. I'm the one, the only King Mexico, also known as Jesse Goku. And joining me, as always, is the voice of God herself, our producer, the voice of reason. She tells us not to follow her on Twitter because of things and whatnot and shenanigans and who knows. And, something about keeping the pillow on both sides hot. I don't know. We're putting that curse on people, apparently. And she's gone.
Oh my
god.
The bean burned her a little bit too hard.
Right.
And she's back. Our part-time host with the most, the one, the only Dankapus.
Welcome back. I have no idea what is going on with the internet here. I'm currently not at my house, so I'm so sorry.
That's not a problem. We will make it work one way or another. For those of you that are in the show, in our private chat, I did share the link to the live stream on YouTube. So in case you want to share it with your friends so they can join and troll you, especially Missy. I know. So joining us, we're going to do some introductions before we get started with the episode. I'm going to let Dangapus take it from here, but Missy will go first.
Okay, what's up? I am Missy, also known as Lady Metal D, and Winterfire Avengers.
Hello, I am Peachy by Cosplay.
Hi guys, I am Fair LaFay. I also go by Angel Melody in the community. Yep, I'm just another nerd in the realm of all the nerds.
Hi, I'm savvyblossomcosplays.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to meet for a second. But all of our wonderful, beautiful queens of cosplay today. Like, how are you doing? What's your next con? First and foremost, how are you guys doing? Before I get to some of the questions.
We're pretty good.
Good.
I didn't.
Can I look?
So
I said I wouldn't be on the episode, but so I kind of saw that coming. So that's gonna be like every 30 seconds on the clock. So she'll be back in a minute. But can I just acknowledge the fact that Misty, like, you just stared at the camera like this was an AA meeting? Hi, I'm Missy. I drink.
Well, you said what's up, and that's always been my thing. My thing has always been like, "What's up, everybody? This is Lady Metal D." That's always been the thing that I said. So you already said what's up, but I was like,
I never said I was a smart person. Maybe I messed up. Who knows? We already. I want to give a shout out to Fart Knocker, one of our one of our regulars. What's up, bro? And Clint. That tracks.
That tracks.
All right. So, first off, let me just say, I will say thank you, everyone, for agreeing to join today on Wednesday at 7 in the evening. I know people have dinner. Some people sit in front of their TV and drink wine. Some people got laundry. It's the middle of the week. Some people are at work still.
Mm.
Ain't that the truth?
No fun.
Dang, let's take it from here. I took over for a little bit because you got kicked out again.
It keeps doing it. I don't know why. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh no, we lost her.
Okay. All right. So tell us about yourself. What was it? What was your YouTube name? Something Metal D Slipknot.
It's
That's
Lady Metal
I'm
D.
getting me mallet.
And
Lady
it's
Metal
just
D.
been something. Yeah, it's something I used across the board for a long time. It was my gamer tag on Xbox, and then I just used it. So we're talking about, I don't know, 15 years ago.
So, but you do have a YouTube channel, which I didn't share the link to.
Yeah, don't. You're good. It's it's called Lady Metal D. I haven't messed with it in like 10 years, but I'm starting to record content now, and so it will be brought back up. It's really cringy. I have like shit. I have almost like 300 videos and maybe 5 subscribers.
I subscribe to it.
You subscribe to the Lady Metal D one?
Yeah,
Ah, man.
I'm gonna go watch all that stuff. I'm gonna take some extracurricular activity, fun stuff at the con and watch those videos.
Oh, they're so cringy.
Everyone started off as cringy. It's fine. All right. So next is Peachy Pie.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like
That would be a long one.
I swear we met before, and I swear we did. I just don't know where.
Anime Matsuri?
Oh God. I must have been drunk. Like,
I don't know. I've been meeting a lot of people, especially when I started cosplaying. I've been cosplaying consistently since 2019. Wait, 2018. Yeah, and then I've been meeting a lot of people, going to different conventions and guesting as well, doing panels and hosting cosplay contests. Yeah. So
oh wow. You
yeah,
said
I've been
2019?
doing, yes, 2019, 2018. And then I met Fairy, my cosplay sister, 2019 at
Yeah.
Comic Palooza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we met.
It
So
was Spider-Gwen and Mantis
yes.
when we met. Yeah, at Comic Palooza. It's pretty fun.
And then we had a photo shoot together, a group photo shoot, and then we found out we have lots of things in common, and here we go. We started the Peachy and Fairy Cosplay Sister account. So yeah.
That's interesting. Like, okay, so when I approached, because I was like, hey, Savvy, do you want to be on this podcast? Because I've invited a lot of people to be on the show, right? And everyone is like down to do like, oh my God, a Queens of Cosplay episode. Like, what is it about? It's a discussion that happens to be about queens who cosplay. I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm in. Sign me up. And then it's like, I can't do it. I work. I can't do it. I took a nap and it turned into a coma.
Wow. That happens.
It's like, oh, I can't do it. I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm just gonna be a couch potato. It happened. And then some people are out of state,
Yeah.
and
It's
so
true.
Savvy was like, "You got it. Okay, these are the people that you should bring on the show because they're awesome and amazing." And it just so happened that I was already following y'all, so I was like, "Okay, let me go ahead and send them a message, and hopefully they don't think I'm a creep. Like, who's this weirdo?"
No.
And
No.
like,
It was
Because-
hilarious because I messaged, like, I said, yeah, I'm in. I'm like, do you need any recommendations? He goes, yeah, I could use some. And I just shot like every profile of
she
all my
gave me
cosplay
like
mamas.
6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I messaged like 4 or 5, and
Oh,
like,
wow.
and 3 of them were like, so y'all said yes.
Yeah.
And then one other person, like 2 other people said yes, but they're like, oh, I can't do it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure out a different day. We'll figure out a different day because they have conventions or commitments or work. Like, it's mostly work,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Usually work. It's usually
Weekdays. Yeah.
And Dingapus, you here? You back? Are you in the backstage? Yay!
Yeah.
So I also have a funny story to share about Dangapus. Because we but I'll get into that in a minute. So it's kind of interesting that we messaged y'all agreed, so thank you very much for that. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll message my sister and she'll be on it too. I got you. I was like, oh, okay,
Right?
cool. I don't have to. I don't have
It's
to
a
find.
package deal.
It is.
Yeah,
It
you
was. It really
suddenly,
was.
it's always two. Like you suddenly are stuck with both of us.
Yeah.
No, and I was great with that because I was about like I had like a list of people I was about to message. I was like, oh my god, somebody please, I need a fourth person. But, and then
Right?
like so many people said yes. Like after we like made the announcement
Hmm.
and we're like, okay, we're gonna have these people on and they're gonna talk about being queens. And it kind of like lit a spark. Like, oh yeah, yeah, hey, I want to do it. I want to do it, but I do adult content. I do OnlyFans. This is my advertisement phone. I can't use that. Can't. I'll get kicked off Instagram. I'm not using that.
Instagram is like, no, no, no.
No, 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 no. Like that's what our
Not
OnlyFans
just
is
Yeah.
for.
yet. Not just yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet. And so like thank you so much. Also, like let's get Fairy LaFay. I hope I said that right. Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about yourself.
So, well, I started about 2018 as well. So basically, I've gone to conventions back in my home country. I'm actually from Brazil. Um, right. So English is my second language and all that jazz. I used to go to like these really small conventions back in Brazil and they were really fun. And someone let me borrow their cosplay. That was my first experience with a cosplay. And then uh, many years I just basically pretended not to be a weeb because I wanted to blend in with the crowd, right? Like because it was like frowned upon, was like, oh, you like those Japanese cartoons. And I'm like, what? Me? No, lies, lies and deception. No way. Um, so I tried to be a normie, but it didn't work out. Eventually, I just ended up going back to cons in 2018. My best friend, who is now my best friend, we met in college. We're like, we're just gonna go. And fun fact, it was Anime Matsuri. We're gonna go for a day, and it was great because she booked the hotel. That was, oh my god, she's gonna kill me for saying this, but she booked the wrong hotel. So
Oh.
the hotel had two pictures. One was the side hotel and the big hotel. So she booked us the little one. And when we actually got into the room, it was this round bed with the mirror on the top, and the shower had no door.
So
It
okay,
was,
so
yeah.
you are from Brazil,
Yes,
so that means you're a fellow Latina.
Yeah.
I am. Yes.
Orale. So, but do you speak Portuguese or like
Yes,
what do you?
that's my first language is Portuguese.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
people don't realize this. This is for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
You can you can be both Hispanic and Latino, or you can be Hispanic and not have Latino blood, or you can be Latino with the Hispanic without Hispanic blood.
Yeah,
And
that's my
people,
case.
so people from Brazil are Latino, but they're like 90% of the time not Hispanic.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Ah.
Because we were colonized by Portugal, not Spain. So we don't speak Spanish, we speak Portuguese.
Mhm.
So,
Hispanic means
yeah,
you have Spanish
Hey,
blood.
I never knew
correct.
that.
Latino is more Mayan, Aztec, native blood.
Hmm.
Correct. Latin America, and we are the biggest country in South America, like
Mhm.
space, like territory wise.
Yeah.
Brazil is the biggest territory wise, like continent, country in South America, the continent.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, it's weird because most people, yeah, they assume that we speak Spanish, and we're like, yeah, no.
Uh,
I kind
yeah.
of do because I picked it up, but because they're like sister languages. But that's not my first language. My first language, so Spanish is like my third language. So it's like out of the three, it's my weakest, like my weakest. But definitely, um, but yeah. So I went to Anime Matsuri and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I got that feel of like, oh my gosh, I never want to be a normal person again, and I felt so happy meeting people that enjoy the same things I do. And like I could talk about anime, I could talk about video games and other things I enjoy, and it wasn't creepy, it wasn't cringe. Like people wouldn't look at me like, oh, you're nerd.
Yeah.
Because it's always been a big part of me that I kind of just kept it to myself because other people didn't understand. And now anime is super mainstream, and I'm like, what the hell? What the hell was that when I was growing up? I was the weird child.
You know, it's amazing that like anime in the United States became super popular over the last like 24 years.
Yeah.
But like
Mhm.
in Central America, which Central America to people from the United States isn't really a thing, right? It's only like to people from like us that are from like Mexico or from Guatemala or Belize, right?
Yeah.
And South Americans acknowledge Central America. But anime was so much cheaper to license that in all like in Central America and South America, it was everywhere.
Yeah. In
Mhm.
Brazil, it was huge, huge. Because Knights of the Zodiac was the first anime I've ever seen. Yeah, Los Caballeros del Zodiaco. That
Caballeros
was
de
it.
Zodiaco. Yeah, in Spanish,
Yeah.
they didn't call it Saint Seiya. It was Caballeros de Zodiaco, Super
Yeah.
Campeones, Ranma y Medio, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball
Super
Z.
Campeones was everywhere.
Yeah, so like watching anime in Mexico was like awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to cuss. I almost said something else. It was awesome. It was great.
Woo!
You
I
can't
missed it.
cuss. No cussing.
No cussing. Yes,
No, no.
Dangerpuss is the voice of reason. Uh, so it's interesting to have like somebody that's like it's always like a gift to have somebody that's like from one of the that's part of the same ancestry on the show. Awesome. Thank you. Like you're from Brazil. Awesome. Like that's
Oh,
amazing.
so.
My like yeah, my people are from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
We are known for three things: tortillas, uh, tequila, and pyramids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I have a
That's
friend that he calls it vitamin T. It's tacos, tamales, tortillas, y torta.
Right. There's a Mexican joke like why do Mexicans eat tamales during Christmas? It's like well, no, why? So we can have something to unwrap.
uh,
Bruh.
okay.
Abby, you can laugh. It's fine.
I make tamales at Christmas.
That's a trap.
No,
That's a
it's not.
trap.
You're honorary
That's a trap.
Mexican now. You're no longer white.
Oh yeah, we validated that last stream because
Yeah,
he
the
made me
last stream
say
you were
like
in.
jalapeno and stuff like that, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you have the twang, so you're not just white." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
awesome."
So Deacon Rat was on the show, and like one of the running jokes is he has to say something in Spanish, and so when they said jalapeno, he's like jalapeno. No,
Jalapeno.
he said
Like some
jalapeno. He said
people say
jalapeno.
jalapeno.
He said
Jalapenos.
jalapeno, and they said arroz con pollo, and he's like arroz con polo.
Oh
My
god.
God.
I was like, Deacon, get off my show.
Like, no, you're not allowed anymore.
Yeah, no, he's he's like, you're not allowed to hear. He's like, I don't speak gibberish. I'm like, get off my show.
Oh my
Get off.
God.
So, so
Oh.
we call now we don't call him Deacon Rat, we call him Deacon Bell because he's obsessed with Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
By the way, Savvy, this one was directed towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend. That's
Okay.
my heathen.
Okay, cool.
Your little pet man.
Yeah, that's my heathen. I was like, "Hey, you coming on the stream tonight?" He's like, "What stream?" I was like, "The stream I've been advertising for the past couple of days." He goes, "Oh,
But, you
yeah."
know, for me,
Like when you said stream, I thought you meant you had to go to the bathroom, like you were making a stream to the toilet.
hello. I hope not.
All right,
All right.
so I know you were on the show before, and you kind of, but tell us a little bit about yourself. What makes you tick? How long have you been cosplaying? Because I know you are relatively new to the scene, considering the fact that you are
Yeah.
also very young.
Yeah.
So, my first ever cosplay was back in 2016 at Delta H Con. That was my first ever convention. And I didn't actually start competing in cosplay officially until 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty recent. I mainly specialize in like embroidery and fabric work, but I'm slowly like moving into like props and hopefully EVA foam at some point because I'm doing EVA foam for a new project coming up later on next year, and 3D modeling later on down the line. Never touching wigs, not happening.
How was the jump for you from just regular cosplaying to starting to compete?
Oh, it was a jump because my first ever cosplay, I'm actually competing as Grell Sutcliffe at San Japan this weekend, and that's important because my first ever cosplay was Grell Sutcliffe back in 2016.
Whoa, okay.
So I literally scrounged up every dollar and coin and whatever else I can get from the dryer because it was free game at that point, and saved up the money for my first ever cosplay, and I wore it to Delta H Con. I didn't cosplay after that for a couple more years until my freshman, no, sophomore year of college. And then I basically did one or two more contests with store-bought stuff. And then I was like, I got motivated by a very, very dear friend of mine, Little Squid Prince. I saw him compete in Delta H Con's 2021 cosplay contest with his Vigilante Deku. And I was like, I want to be just like him. I want to compete and make stuff just like him. And now I'm down the rabbit hole, both on cosplays and Ida bags. So I'm blaming him on both. So, um, and he owns up to that corruption for the Ida bags. But yeah, it's different. It's a lot more time consuming, but it's fun creating something from scratch and wearing it and seeing other people's faces light up when you're wearing a character or wearing something that's very pretty. I know Mama Peachy and Mama Faye or Mama Pixie because I was invited to do a fashion show with them at Kimo Kawaii this upcoming year. And it was such an amazing opportunity to do that with them, as well as my friend Mama Tay, which is Princess Taeyan.
Yeah.
And it's been a wild ride, and I can't wait to do it again. I'm actually gonna try applying for Kimo Kawaii for a guest spot next year.
You definitely
Well, you could
should.
definitely do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I also applied for AggieCon guest spot, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I don't see why not. I think they'd be crazy not to say
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing how like I've seen your work. Your stuff is great, and you were a guest at Delta, so I know for a fact that your stuff is really good. We have one more, so Dangapus, you I don't know how you feel, but you are also a queen, so you deserve to do an introduction. Dangapus is also a cosplayer, and she's always posting stuff on Instagram.
Oh gosh, all the stuff that I do on there. I used to make cosplay when I was very young. I started a long time ago. I was like maybe 11 years old.
Wow.
Back,
Wow.
man, it was a while ago. Way back then, I don't even remember what year. And I'm from Northern California, so a lot of like cosplay stuff is very different here where I'm from, and it's very much a normies rule the world here kind of thing. Like if you're nerd dork, you're basically in the closet. And so I was able to convince one of my friends who knew a lot of people in town to open up a convention. And it was one of the first conventions I went to. It wasn't the first one, but the first one was like, I don't even count it because it was something at a mall which is also really normal here.
Yeah.
It's being held in like abandoned malls. We entered the cosplay contest, and I did make all my own costumes back then, and I'm only getting back into that now. But I've been pretty much just helping people here and there for the past few years, like get their bearings and understand that cosplay is for everybody. You don't have to, you're never too old, you're never too young. You can always start, and it's about the ingenuity and what you want to do and how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of just money, because the biggest misconception that I hear from a lot of people is, oh, but I'm too poor to cosplay. It's like, no, I don't think so. I've definitely known people to become popular and get up to 10K followers doing just cardboard cosplays.
Yeah.
I've seen
It's-
people do paper wigs that way. Paper wigs are like phenomenally done.
Mm-hmm.
So I also Dangapus, you also help us in the channel, and you've been instrumental to you've helped us kind of adjust, because we didn't start off as a convention review channel. We were literally a shit talking podcast.
That
And,
was
and
a
then
move,
and then like Dangapus kind of inspired us to start reviewing cons, and now that's what we are. It has gotten to the point where the conventions do watch the reviews.
I see.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like, these mother
Ah.
or it's like, oh, they got a good point. By the way, I want to give a shout out to One Up Definitive Studios. First time commenter, fantastic. I didn't miss the pod cost. That's more accurate than this other statement, because this show does cost money.
It does.
Podcast, yeah.
So we do have my boy Blastoise did ask a question. This is going to be our first topic of the day.
Okay.
Best con food: pizza
Oh,
versus cup
gosh.
noodles versus Whataburger. Now, to add some context to the topic, as cosplayers of, doesn't matter who you are, we all have that one struggle. That's either being able to afford to eat, remembering to eat, or making time to eat. Some of us live off of sugar packets and water. Some of us live off of lobster, and all in between. So, starting off with Missy, who's heavy metal Lady D.
Lady Metal D, Winter
Little
Fire
matey.
Rangers, or Missy. Just we'll stick with Missy.
Okay, Lady Metal D's nuts.
No, you can't cuss. You can't
I
cuss.
already did it.
Well,
I already
do
did
you
it.
like?
What's the counter
It's
right
too
now?
late.
Today's podcast is brought to you by, because these are Queens, our official podcast sponsor is the Bear.
Mm.
Mhm.
The bear.
The Bear.
The bear.
All
Yes,
right,
that's right.
so
We did choose the bear.
we did choose the Bear. And my nickname in my family is also, which means bear.
Bear. Yeah.
So, Missy, do you live off
Snacks.
snacks? You just live
It
off snacks the
is-
whole weekend?
Well, what we do is I go to the dollar store and I get a bunch of stuff from. We pack so much damn food, and then I end up. That's my earbud. I end up getting we friggin' DoorDash anyways, and we're like, we can't afford that shit. Let's just get a bunch of stuff from the dollar store, and we end up DoorDashing anyways. And we'll bring like stuff to like warm up, but in the hotels, a lot of the hotels, they don't have microwaves anymore, especially the Hilton and the Marriott. They don't have
Mhm.
microwaves, so you got to
Oh.
go to a different floor, and it's really kind of embarrassing just walking with your
Yeah.
stuff. Well, I actually don't do it. I get
Mhm.
to it, but
Walking with ramen noodles.
you could do that in
on the way there.
the coffee pot. You could do ramen noodles. So not
Yeah.
noodles, but
Yeah.
So, what I would recommend, because we do have a comment about your statement about the snacks, it's really heavy too. But so, does anyone here live off of sugar packets and water? This is to the chat, not to our guests. We're gonna
Oh.
keep asking the question. But anyone in the chat, do you live off of sugar packets and water? By the way, if you want to contribute to the show, if you have a question or a topic that you would like to have them discuss, as long as it's within reason, it's not offensive, or you don't say anything that
Makes us
Don't
the
be
squeamy
weird.
uncomfies.
that
Yeah.
makes you come off as
Yeah. Like that one.
Oh,
if
goodness.
you post a comment that comes off as creepy or messed up, or you know what, you want to be that guy, then we're gonna do this to you,
Yep.
Real.
because this is not the show.
that counts as a curse count.
Nah, they're memes. They don't count. And, and besides, I'm sponsoring today's show, so it's fine. All right, Peachy, how do you like? Okay, so let's go back to the original. It doesn't have to be from the question itself, but what is your best con food during? How do you survive during the weekend when it comes to food?
It's actually my husband who reminds me to eat all the time because I forget to eat. Yeah, it's me and my sister here. We forget to eat, and it's always our husbands who reminds us to eat. And they're the ones who bring us like peanuts or what have you. They're the ones who buy food for us. So,
Sandwiches, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. So let's.
Mm.
All right. So I just want to say we don't give cosplay handlers, whether it's partners, whether it's spouses, whether it's a fake tree that we call Groot, our our fanny pack. We don't give handlers enough credit because without them, we'd be dead on the streets.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, very true.
Yep.
So
And they're the ones who reminds that, hey, this is you should be eating right now because I'm diabetic. I have to eat.
Yeah,
So
she does.
drink
yeah.
water.
So
Drink water.
yeah, water too. Oh my God. So we don't want to be fainting.
So okay, that actually, if you don't mind me asking,
Hmm.
because you're diabetic, does it create it? So it does create a bigger challenge for you to stay like hydrated and get
Yes.
nutrients because you need it, right? So you feel like it's has at any
Hydrated.
point did you like forget and like you suffered for it for
Yes. If I do, I get hypoglycemic. My blood sugar runs low, and I get jittery, and sometimes I faint. So I haven't fainted in a convention yet. I'm not on one. But I fainted several times in a photo shoot just because I haven't eaten. Ask Fairy. She knows.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of which,
Scary.
Barry, how do you survive convention?
Okay, I'm also so the crazy thing is that my personality, I laser focus on things.
Hmm.
And if it's not like right in front of me, uh I forget about it. And it's really sad. So that's one of the things that I have a lot of trouble with is probably reminding myself to eat. I'm trying to get better about it. But
Hmm.
just like Peachy said, luckily, honestly, if it wasn't for my husband that like helps me out and reminds me to eat, and like he's kind enough to even go to places and get me
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And Peachy has the same thing, like because most of the time we would be at a guest booth, and so depending on the con and everything, so
Hmm.
there are a lot of cons that they have deals that they can't have vendors. They can only have the con's own like food vendor, which is usually like sandwiches, pizza, and stuff like that, like burgers or whatever. But it's usually like the food is okay, but I feel like the price that you pay for them,
Yeah.
you actually should just um it's better to even pay for another meal. So honestly, Whataburger ends up being something that I like go to after a
Right.
con. But most of the time I do bring snacks. So like so I always my husband also likes to go to 7-Eleven. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to say like name of gas stations. I would just say a
You
convenience
can.
store.
Oh no,
No, you
those
can.
are fine.
Convenience store.
As long as you don't like say something bad about them, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's good to go like like a 7-Eleven or like something that is just like oh, what is another one that I go Quick Trip or something that like they usually will have like snacks or something that like you're able to sustain yourself until you can actually have like a decent meal.
Right.
Water, super important. I am asthmatic, and like both Peachy and I do not do well with heat.
Eat. Yeah.
So, water is extremely important for both of us, and we're always having to be on the lookout for water. I've been really like lightheaded before because I didn't eat because I got busy and sidetracked, and I but that is something that is really important, and people really have to try their best not to skip meals, or
Mm.
like at least keep with water and some snacks and something healthy to keep you until you can actually eat something decent, because you make a terrible habit out of that. And like I'm saying that out of experience, and then
Mhm.
your stomach just, I have a lot of I used to have a lot of really bad habits, like food wise, and my stomach got to a point that I had to make sure I ate something. Otherwise, I'd feel like terrible pain from it.
Mhm.
So I've learned like the sadly the hard way of like remind yourself to pack um all these snacks and food and make sure that you have something that will sustain you, because at a con you're sometimes going back and forth. You go, if you're judging a contest, you're, away from your booth doing a panel, doing cosplay judging, doing a Q&A or something, and these are things that you have to remember to bring things that are easy for you to carry and have on you. Even if you're sitting down to do a Q&A, while the microphone is on somebody else, like you can take a bite of like a cereal bar or something. It's just to make sure that you're properly functioning, because we don't want anybody to um, end up having a health issue,
Mhm.
because and we have a lot of friends that we know that have different, because everybody has their own limitations, and only you know your body and you know how you function, so it's important to keep track of that. And I think for like people who are new to cosplay, that is something that I would make a big habit, just for experience, because um, I was really bad about it for so many years, and it really took a toll on me. And I want people to make sure that they do try to eat. But yeah, like at the hotel room, it's always like pizza and ramen, and I love popcorn. Popcorn is one of my like big snacks that I like to.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
yeah, I'm a popcorn. Yeah. I buy the big popcorn bag and I just have it under the booth, and like I'm just there eating
Nonstop.
when I can. But yeah, the food usually there are times that you find cons that they have, like cool vendors outside, like you will have like hot like
Food truck.
food trucks. Thank you. You will
Yeah.
have like food trucks, you get actually better food than the
Mhm.
actual food inside the con, that
Yeah.
usually like they'll sell you a hot dog for the price of a food truck whole meal, and that's not, yeah, it's it's just like try to be smart, bring some snacks if you get a good meal being at that con, awesome, but it's not always guaranteed,
Yeah.
but it's good to have that habit.
I think you guys have inspired me to do another panel. How to be poor at an anime,
Don't die.
how to be poor at a convention. First thing you want to do when you starving and you ain't got no money for some bread, go hit up your local mall because you can live off free samples for at least half a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
right.
Go to Costco for free samples.
See, Costco ain't free. Costco ain't free.
Yeah.
Go to HEB if you're in Texas.
HEB. Yeah. Free samples. They
That's
go to a
right.
lot.
You got to go to the
So
good HEB though for the free samples.
go to
Right.
Walmart, grab a pack of ham, and run. They're not going to stop you. No, don't do that. I'm
Yep.
kidding. Don't do that.
No.
Do not get arrested. We do not condone thievery.
That's
Yeah.
right. Be nice, Jesse.
Wink.
Be nice.
You know, you don't see it, but I am winking at the camera right now.
All right. So, Savvy, how do you survive your convention? Well, you were a guest, right? At Delta, they fed you.
Yeah. They did feed us, but most of the time I did not eat all of it because my brain was going 100 miles an hour.
Mhm.
Like my boyfriend, he was my handler for the weekend, bless his soul, because he had to deal with all my shenaniganry. And that was his second ever convention. He only went to Kimo Kauai for one day, and he did a whole 3-day event at Delta H Con, and he had to deal with all my madness. But
Aw.
he was like, "Babe, you gotta eat." I'm like, I'm sorry, I will. Just give me a second. I gotta take care of this person at my table first. He's like, "No, you gotta eat something." But um,
Yeah.
because like I'm anemic, I do have moments where like if I forget to eat something, I do have like not fainting spells, but like I get dizzy and I almost fall over.
Mhm.
Some variant of low blood sugar. I haven't gotten it like fully figured out yet, but I'm also little, so that doesn't help much. But something that me and my friends do religiously is we get chilies before the con and then after the con because it's
Mhm.
like a traditional thing. So like we eat enough to start the weekend off right to have enough energy to go into the next day, and then we eat a big meal at the end of it to make sure we can regain some of the amount of calories that we did lose.
Yeah.
Y'all are all drinking water. I'm bad at drinking water. I'm
I
just
I have to force
and then
myself.
I'm like
Yeah,
Missy over here. I'm
You
like,
gotta
bro,
love
same.
water.
they're healthy. When somebody told me, Jess, Goku, hydrate, hydrate. I got Bud Light. It's all right.
yeah, I'm
You're good
like
with the
that's
bottled water.
No, I
I
think guessing at Delta H was the most water I've drank in years because I constantly had a just thing to sip on just when I got anxious or nervous, and that was probably the most water I've drank in years.
y'all use like a straw because like eating and drinking in cosplay, a lot of times you don't want to fuck up your makeup
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Right?
Mm.
Yes. Or eat
I also
something that's messy. So no.
You know
yeah,
what's funny?
Yeah,
Since you brought that
I
up,
avoid eating something that is messy. I usually eat something that is dry or like something that it won't spill, like all over. I mean,
Ah, your
the gas
cost.
station tacos are actually like
Oh
really
no.
legit, but you eat them before the con. They also have these breakfast tacos. They're like $2. So
Mhm.
Well,
I'm
awesome.
just saying, people sleeping on them convenience stores. Like some of these gas stations got like a really good, really good
there's a.
stuff.
I'm glad you brought it. Somebody that's finally got, like you brought up. I'm like the culture in me kicked in when you said gas station tacos because there's a 7-Eleven where the lady
Mhm.
knows me, and she like ¿Qué quieres, güey? ¿Qué quieres ahorita?
Get it?
Ah,
Yeah, I gotta put you guys on to the tips and tricks on how to keep your makeup pristine when you're eating and stuff for cosplay. Um,
Mhm.
that was a big thing that I was studying way back then when I was like first starting out. Was I literally was taking cosmetology classes to elevate my cosplay. Um,
mhm.
the
That's
lifesavers
awesome.
for like primer right now are the goat, the Ben Nye primer, the
Yeah.
and the Smashbox photo finish primer.
Mm.
Like just
Love
those
That
that
two
is
back to
one.
the
back. Like
The
when
Smashbox one is so good.
the Smashbox one is so good. Those two back to back. If you put them anywhere, your makeup will not move. You could go
one.
swimming. You could do
Oh.
literally anything. The only downside is washing it off after.
Oh,
Goodness.
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
in terms of lipstick, keeping it there and still there is using a straw when I'm drinking. So I always bring straws in a convention. I even bring for fairy. Hey, this is for you.
Yeah, does.
I'm
Color coded.
I'm bad at drinking water and stuff. And what I do is I have like I don't eat carbs, so conventions are like my cheat days. And I bring a lot of those little liquor bottles. So it's not water that I'm worried about. It's more like the little liquor bottles because I could drink,
Yeah.
rum and all the stuff that I don't usually drink. So
Day drinking is a beautiful convention pastime.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
love
there
that.
you go.
we yeah. I drink it
But
like every convention. It's like my it's like a treat. And I think a lot of times I know it takes me at least like a little bit of a drink to get me on the floor because I'm so anxious getting ready. I'm just so anxious getting ready that sometimes I'll be like, shit, I'm gonna take a shot before I go down there.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know, that's just me.
I
Mhm.
can't do that because I have too many underage kiddos. I have like I think 6 cosplay kids that are underage, and it's like, yeah, I can't do
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
something that I also do is I get the go-go squeeze applesauce things because those you can cap. You don't finish them, you can
Mm.
put the caps back on. I do get
Yeah.
like the mandarin oranges in a cup. because those are easy. You don't have to have a fork. You can just like tip it back like it's a tequila shot.
Yeah.
And just small little snacks like that I have to carry around because I always have the big bag. But I have to be careful with how much I pack because I always somehow dislocate the shoulder somehow, even if it's a little bit of weight. So I
Yeah.
have to be careful of how heavy or not heavy it is.
Yeah.
So but when we're back at the hotel, it depends on how late it is because sometimes there's some days I don't even eat before going to bed because it's just so late. Like if it's 11 o'clock at night, there's no point in me eating when I could just get something early in the morning. And
Yeah.
then nakeds. I drink nakeds religiously. They're like the fruity based drinks that have like all the fruits and stuff in the bottle, like the little fruit drinks. I put those
Yes.
in the
Yep, we know.
refrigerator.
Mhm.
I put those in the refrigerator and like down one of those in the morning for breakfast, and it's quick and on the go, and it tastes really really good.
It's also really
It gives
good
me the
for
sugar
you.
I need.
It's
Yeah,
your 5 essential fruits, all those sometimes 10 in the naked juices, and that's like all the nutrients you need basically for the whole day.
Yeah.
it's not equivalent to a meal replacer, but it's close enough to be a meal replacer.
It energizes you as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good like in between, like a good snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bring a lot of electrolytes. Like I bring a lot of electrolytes because I don't
That's
drink
usually
water.
what I get.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
the little packets of liquid IV now. I've been carrying them now, like just in case I need a wake up.
Boost.
Oh yeah, liquid IV is very good as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get those now too. They're good. I mean, since I carry the water anyway, I just put it in there and if I can't get to something to eat that actually keeps me a little bit uh, functioning, just
Yeah.
enough.
I have to keep myself like I have my CGM. I don't know if you're familiar with the CGM. I don't know if you can see it. This is something that is connected to my phone, so I know what my blood sugar level is. So if I'm running low, sugar wise, I would eat something. It's good to have this CGM. It's a lifesaver, actually. So it connects to my husband's phone also, so my husband knows, hey, you're running low, or hey, your blood sugar is really high right now, so you have to inject. So he tells me if I forget. But
If I
yeah.
Yeah, because believe it or not, it seems like it's like how the people would be like, "Oh, how do you forget?" The thing is, like sometimes you're so busy, like you have a guest, someone talking, you're talking to.
Yes.
You got to remember we're in the booth or doing something. We're usually on a task
Mm-hmm.
to do something.
Yep.
So it's sad, but it's fairly common to forget. You don't know, you lose track of time.
Time.
That's sadly one thing, like you're not really aware of how much time it has passed.
Right.
And so because your mind is busy, you don't even feel hungry, you're not even thinking about it. And obviously with her, we always have to be double checking. So it's a great thing that John does. Sometimes I check her phone too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, to just make sure. And because like we are so aware of each other's problems that we always are like, hey, did you eat? We do that to each other too. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, did you eat? What did you eat?
Oh, we
Yeah.
we should tell him the floor is lava story later from Kimo Kawaii because I was the floor is lava situation. Bro, that was a weekend.
That's crazy. It was crazy.
It was.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's one thing in a convention that we often forget, especially if we're wearing some very difficult cosplays to get out of. We
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Uh,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
oh, using the bathroom is
Mhm.
it's like
yeah.
we
Yeah.
we end up in the nighttime after the convention. I went go Imoto. We forgot to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's so much harder too, especially if
It's
you're
really
like
fun to wear a Zentai suit until you have to use the restroom.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Oh
you
my
need like
god.
sometimes you can't bring your handler if they're the opposite gender. And it's like, oh my
No.
goodness. I gotta wiggle my way in and out, walk the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, I go
Yeah.
back to the room. I've never peed at the convention. I go back to my room every single time because I need that help. I need my handler to like get me out of
Yeah.
here really quick and get me out of here quick.
Wait.
Look
I
at
just
quote Misty, never peed
I
at a
was
convention. Never
I was
peed.
I was dealing with backstage stuff, and I come back, and all I heard was, "I don't pee at the cons." I'm like, wait, what?
Never peed
we,
at the convention.
we got a little off track. Let's just
No,
put
that's
it
the whole point of
lightly.
the podcast.
Yeah.
This podcast is known for like going off track, off subject. Let me tell you something. I met a famous voice actor who's now a really good buddy of mine. His name is John Gramillion.
No, yes. I've met
And so I met him at Anime Houston. And I'm like, bro, we were both drinking, we were both drunk. I'm like, bro, you gotta come on the show, bro. It's like, oh yeah, y'all run a podcast. What show are y'all? Oh, we're a small channel. We're called Geeks Five Ever. He's like, oh, I've heard of y'all. You guys are that channel that talks shit about everybody. I fucking love y'all. And I was like, yeah, that's us. Yeah. So me and John are buddies now. But yeah, this channel's always known for going off topic. The fact that y'all are just talking about pee, it's not surprising. I'm just like, whoa, what did I walk into?
we were talking about the difficulties of getting in and out of costume while trying to use the restroom because
Diapers.
yeah.
Get you a diaper.
No,
No.
no, that's
No.
not anymore.
No.
Not very mindful.
Being on your cycle during cosplaying is so hard.
Wearing white.
Right,
And
actually,
you're
do
the
you guys
guest
have,
at the con. That has happened to me, and I wanted to die, and it was terrible.
do you guys have
so sorry
tips
for
to
y'all.
avoid those like malfunctions when it comes to like being on your cycle at a convention? Do you have like any
Trust
tips on how you would hide that?
I
Yeah.
can never
Ooh.
forget it. I was wearing the Bride Lamine, which has like this like swimsuit bottom almost. It was white.
Mhm.
And I was on
Oh.
and I don't know how I did it, but I managed. I don't think anybody noticed, but the entire time I'm talking to people, and then
Yeah.
out of nowhere in my head I'm like, please don't embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me. Can I just make it through today? Like,
Yeah.
can I please just make it through today? But yeah, that was one that like you also didn't have a zipper on that
Mhm.
outfit. It was like something
It's a
that you
sexy
just
one.
put on
Yeah.
and then you attach the pieces to it.
Yeah.
So it was just a nightmare. But yeah, that happened to me.
You should buy
It's
Yeah, you
pretty
should buy-
awful going to the restroom with that. I don't even think I went to the restroom in that. Only
Yeah.
at the hotel room.
That's
I'm
why y'all
saying
don't
like
drink
at the
water.
con. Yeah.
I know drink water.
Don't drink water so you don't have to go to the restroom. Oh my god. Oh my
I mean,
god.
she has a point. Just saying. But when it comes to I guess hiding if we are on that time, I'm weird because mine are so irregular. I always pack stuff with me just in case because I always start when something important is going on. But like wearing like spandex or something like that to kind of hide it, depending on if you're using a pad or a tampon,
Yeah.
that helps. Also, I guess if you have a feeling you're gonna be potentially starting before a con, I always like trying to bring like looser fitted clothing if I'm wearing something underneath something. Because wearing
Yeah.
something tight on your stomach hurts a lot more than wearing something loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I
And
can't remember if I've ever
then-
had that problem. Like my cycles are like just where they were perfect. I mean, I don't have to worry about it anymore. My baby maker is gone. I don't have a uterus anymore. So yay. But I would be like, I can't remember if this ever happened to me, but I think it would change what I had to deal with. Like as far as cosplay, I would probably change my cosplay up to have a few that are really comfortable. That's probably
Yeah.
what I would do.
Mm.
Not for me. Mine's a genetic
Yeah.
hellscape. Like there's some.
Same.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
it depends. If depends on the occasion, if you're wearing something that's a little bit, sexy, what would you do? What, and then you have your cycle. Oh, what would you do? I think just hide it, right? Wear something under.
Um, I just basically was like, there is also, I was wearing tights.
Tights. Yeah.
That was like one thing that I would say, like skin tone tights, because the bottom of my outfit was basically, like I said, like a swimsuit. If I
Mhm.
didn't have those tights, I think it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Um, but I always have it. I always pack it with my suitcase because it has like kind of basically is like, I'm here, and I'm like, you're an asshole. And I'm just like, yeah, and it happens like at the worst possible times. It has happened at water park cons. It has happened at again, that is the one I remember the most because it was a white outfit that is super like fitted, and it's kind of like a bottom swimsuit. So it sucked big time, big time. But I think you just bring just in case. I think it doesn't hurt to bring it with you. Worst
Yeah.
comes to worst, you don't. It doesn't happen. I've had a girl that I felt really bad, and this girl was crying, asking if I had a tampon, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't. I actually
Mhm.
didn't. So usually I always have an emergency one in my
Right.
bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I usually carry a pad and a tampon, and I kind of just had a pad that day. And I was like,
Mhm.
look, sister, I'm so sorry. This is all I got.
Well,
Yeah.
I have
And
an idea. Those people like the cosplay helpers that walk around with the sewing kits and stuff like that. They should add tampons to their stuff.
Yeah, that would be really good if they did. That's a great idea.
I
I
think
know
the
me
one
personally.
I think the ones that Delta H do, because I know there's a male and a female. I think the female one does, if I
Oh, okay.
remember correctly.
Yeah, that's like something that a lot of like hashtag male cosplayers don't really think about, and I mean, cool for them that they don't have to.
Yeah.
I typically bring a lot of like extra stuff usually to
Mhm.
just in case because I've had a lot of times where other friends of mine are like, "Oh my god, I don't have any," and
Yeah.
it's nice to share. Just have them open, you know.
Right. Yep.
yeah, I agree. It can be a lifesaver for somebody. And again, I felt so bad for that girl because I wanted to help her, but sadly, like there was nothing I could do. I didn't have one on me at that point, and
No,
um,
we're not talking about the
We're
diaper.
not talking about diapers right now. We're goodness gracious. No, no, no talking about the
They're
ones and
talking
twos.
about the
We're
diaper.
talking about the secret third thing.
Yeah. Girl stuff. Girl stuff.
And, it is Queens of Cosplay, and
Yeah,
it's a
right.
very good
Yeah.
question because I'm
true.
seeing someone else saying that they want us to redirect the conversation. But
Oh,
it's a very good question. It's a very very good, especially learning point for other younger cosplayers or beginner cosplayers who
beginner. Yeah.
never have like had dealt with this before and like how to prepare more for like not
Yeah.
to have malfunctions because there's other malfunctions that happen that everyone knows about like oh my god my boob jumped out of my cosplay but the ones that are the most like emotionally damaging to other femme presenting people is if you get the secret third thing just kind of
Yeah.
popping out.
Right.
Oh, and skin glue. Skin glue is something that can
Oh,
save your life.
yeah.
Oh yes, skin glue for sure.
Mhm.
A little bit of like eyelash glue, just
Hmm.
eyelash glue to like and put it like on your bra just to make sure it
Hmm.
doesn't pop out.
Yeah. Yeah. To make your
Are we
costume clean. Yeah.
are we talking about boobs now? Did we switch over to boobs?
Yeah, cosplay malfunctions. How do you guys keep
Cosplay
your
malfunctions.
how do you keep your
Yeah.
cosplay malfunctions from ruining your
Skin glue. Yeah. Skin glue is my go-to. Yeah, but you can't glue. It's only for skin and cloth material or fabric, but not
Mhm.
fabric to fabric. You can't use it from with that. But what you call that? Fabric tape. That too.
Fashion tape.
Fashion tape. Yes.
Fashion
oh
Yeah.
tape.
fashion tape, a lifesaver. Everyone's everyone goes to Moe Flavor for a lot of cosplays, and I know that Moe Flavor just released a skin tape, fashion tape that's like
Yeah.
super stronghold meant
Mm-hmm.
for
Mhm.
thigh highs,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's you know, someone in the
Because that
comments
is.
is saying I'm gonna use these for my girl hashtag good handler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because thigh highs are always a problem for cosplayers.
Yeah.
To keep it up. So, who is this cosplayer who's really I think it's Kinpatsu or Kamui cosplay. She has this tutorial wherein you sew in your thigh highs with your skin tights.
I think it was Kenpatsu, the one that I followed.
Yeah.
Um, I did that for Asuka when I did
Asuka.
her boot cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I did her boot cover, it was the first time. It's a little tricky if you've never tried it because, again, it's tighter stretching material, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of shrink. And so when you're sewing through them, you have to be stretching them
Mm-hmm.
as you sew them. It's a little weird. Um, but
And
it's
do a good
very
job.
helpful. Yeah,
Good.
because
Yeah.
if you're and especially because I was like sewing vinyl
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had to put a little bit of felt with the to help the needle with the vinyl and kind of just um you have to be like as you're sewing, you have to sew it really slow and kind of stretch that out
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
actually guide through it because it's really tricky. It's
Yeah.
really, really tricky. But once you get the hang of it, it's the best thing you can do
We
because
have
then
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it like kind of
Falling.
just like falling from your leg because it's so
Yeah.
annoying. You're just walking
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's just
We have
like
another
slowly.
question.
Yeah.
What was your favorite cosplay ever? Like your favorite cosplay?
Wow, that's hard. That's hard to.
Favorite and or least favorite you've ever done?
Um,
Favorite and least favorite. So let's just start with your favorite first and why, and then your least favorite and why.
I
I can
think my
answer both.
favorite is my spirit blossom Ari. Because it's so colorful and beautiful. um and whenever I wear it, I feel like I'm Ari. I feel like I'm really Ari. Um and
You're
I
really
always get
her.
my spirit blossom Ari from League of Legends.
Right.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
And which one would be your least favorite?
Ooh, the least favorite? Oh my god. I don't remember. I can't. It's hard to say which is my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really don't know. I don't think I have a least favorite because I like them. I
Mm-hmm.
like all my cosplays. I enjoy
Yeah.
wearing them. Yeah. If ever it would be something that is super hot, like my yes, the one that's leather from top to bottom.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and it's a bodysuit, and whenever I walk, it goes. It's a panther from Persona 5,
Oh
the
yeah.
red one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that's such a pretty cosplay.
yes, but it's like, I'm about to. I can't breathe from that cosplay, and
Mm-hmm.
it's noisy. Yeah, yeah.
I would like to ask Missy,
Yeah,
what's
that's
your
no
favorite
fun.
and least favorite cosplay you've done?
My favorites are Chika Fujiwara and Yor, mainly because they were so comfortable. It's just like one, like Yor was like the red sweater Yor. So it's just literally like a
Oh, yeah.
sweater and black like tights. And
Mm-hmm.
so I love those. And then I don't know, like Fujiwara was just really fun. She's got this bubbly personality and she's like my spirit animal. And it was just again, it's just like just I had the perfect wig. Like, do you ever get the wig and it's perfect? And it's like, man, this one was just perfect for it. And so those are my favorite. My least favorite would have to be Rorschach from Watchmen
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh, why is that?
the I had the mask that when you know the ink blots went like this, and
Mhm.
but I had contacts underneath it, and so my contacts fogged up. I don't know if you've ever used like contacts and a mask. So it was Comic Palooza the year that Tom Holland was there, and I couldn't see jack shit. So I'm sitting there just, man, like I wanted to see Tom Holland. He's kind of fucking cute. Sorry.
I didn't know contacts could do that. Like that contacts could like fog up inside. That sounds scary.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. I couldn't see. I mean, it's not the first. Well, it was the first time I couldn't see. It wouldn't be the last time that I wouldn't be able to see, and so that was my least favorite. But it was really cool though because
Mhm.
the ink blot was really neat. You put it on there, it really does move, and but it's just, and it was really hot. It was really hot with the trench coat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to ask, now I want to ask Faye, what's your favorite and least favorite?
Um. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say like ones that I've done that I liked. It was a challenge, but I liked it. I was really happy with the result. Would be my Lenore from Castlevania. Definitely. 4 days of craziness. Well, I had made her the mock-up for her corset like twice before, and I procrastinated to actually. Well, I've had the deadline for a while, and I was like, it's all right, I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to it. And then the con was that week, and I was like, all right, you got 4 days to get this done. And actually, I was very surprised with myself, and I honestly was so surprised of how beautiful that cosplay is, and it's one of my when I everything when you put everything together and I looked in the mirror, I had this like moment of like my eyes were watery. I was like,
Mhm.
you did this in 4 days and it looks beautiful. Congratulations. It's stunning. And like I felt like the hard work, and because I had done corsets. I had attempted to do a corset before. It didn't look nearly that pretty. I followed a guide on YouTube that really helped, like explain things, and I think I got it. I'm the kind of learner that seeing something really helps me. I'm the kind of person that has to see it. Um, and because my mind just works that way. If I see it, I can replicate it. Like if I look at a color and I look at the details, I can usually replicate it because I'm like, okay, this is how they did it. Cool. I know how it's done.
Uh-huh.
But I have to have a visual thing in my brain to actually be able to make it. It's kind of
Mhm.
funny because I have a hard time following patterns,
Hmm.
which is weird because everybody's like, oh no, just follow a pattern. But I find it better to just use the whole old method of like saran wrap and duct tape and draw it over me,
Yeah.
because then I have it perfectly fit. I don't have, because every time I follow a pattern, I have to do so many modifications to it.
Mhm.
It didn't even make sense to make that pattern anymore. Like because I've modified it so much, it barely resembles the pattern that I
Yeah.
originally started with. Um, so I got to this habit of like always doing it my making my own patterns in a way, because even my dress model, the a chest cage of my dress model, like right here, the rib cage is a
Mhm.
lot bigger, even on the smallest setting, because it's one of the ones that you can like shorten it. It's still bigger than me, and
Oh.
so I have to actually put it on me and actually do it back and forth. And I hand stitched a lot of Lenore's corset, and my back was dying. But the
Mhm.
result was so it was I was very happy, and she is probably one of the even more like I've done Sailor Moon, which was a dream come true to me, but I don't like beadwork. It's
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. Don't get
Oh,
me wrong, but it's one of those things that I don't enjoy doing it. I
we're
know some
man
people
down.
really do. Yeah, I know some people really do enjoy doing beadwork, but I don't, sadly. I wish I did. Um, I have a new sewing machine that embroiders, so I'm excited to explore with that one. But the whole stitching process and hand stitching with Lenore, I was very proud of it because
Yeah.
I've turned it inside out and I showed it to people and they were like, "You hand stitched the stop part?" I'm like, "Yeah." They were like, "I couldn't tell. I thought you machine sewed it." And I'm like, "No, I actually hand
Welcome
stitched
back,
it."
Peachy.
Yeah, I know. I lost you for a bit. I'm sorry.
Now you're getting my little icky problem where it just kept dropping me for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back. But yeah, I have a comfort cosplay, which is my Spider Gwen, because I adore Spider Gwen and Mary Jane, but she's like my comfort cosplay. I'm like, if I'm feeling like I don't want to put a lot of, it's Sunday, I don't want to put a lot of effort. There you go. I'm Spider Gwen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Then
that.
the one cosplay that I really didn't like, which is kind of sad because I played the game, was 2B from Nier Automata because I really don't like things that impair my vision.
Rude, honestly.
The blindfold was a no for me.
I do
Yeah.
love that the creator did the blindfold specifically to mess with cosplayers as well. He's very, very specifically to like piss off people who are going to cosplay her, and I think that's
Really?
yeah, that's something that he mentioned.
Wow.
Blossom,
Didn't know that.
Blossom, I want to ask you what your favorite and least favorite cosplays are.
My store-bought favorite is Bakugo. He's my comfort cosplay. If I'm going to a new con anywhere, he's the one I always take. That's probably one of the most well-known cosplays I'm known for. Like every time I go to Delta, they're like, "Oh my god, you're the Bakugo! You're the fun Bakugo!" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh my god, Kachan!
No, I have a reputation for doing Bakugo for my dating game panels and my hero panels. He's definitely a fan favorite that I'm recognized for. My least favorite store-bought one was Cars from JoJo. I'm planning on revamping him at some point because I threw him together for a JoJo panel I did with a friend of mine. My favorite craftsmanship piece that I have in my collection. That's a toughie. I really love Grell solely because Grell was my first ever cosplay.
And also he's
And
Grell.
Grell is from Black Butler.
Oh no, I said, and also he is Grell.
She?
He's Grell, you know? Like, I mean, who doesn't like him?
Well, yeah. But she's definitely one of my top favorites right now. But Cupid was another favorite of mine because I like how he did. Can you stop biting my headphone cords, you little demon? Cat. She's in my lap.
He wants
in my
attention
lap.
from you.
Queens
of Cosplay featuring Cat.
She's a tortoise. But
Aww.
it's definitely Cupid for one of my favorites as well, aside from Grell. My least favorite is Hawks. Hawks was one of the first ones that was put together, and his costume is entirely made of fleece. So he gets really hot really fast. And the wings on him are super big. Like they're about 10 foot long in wingspan. They're pretty big. But the elastics rub and cut into my shoulders. And that's how I found out I have dislocation issues in the shoulder.
Oh my goodness.
Because I can't, they're no more than 5 pounds, but they hurt my back after a long time. Like not even after a long time. Like 30 minutes of wearing them, I have to take them off. Otherwise, it hurts my back so much I can't even stand up.
Truly a hellish cosplay too, when it like messes with your body and like
Wings are such a nightmare. Wings are a nightmare. I did Luca. Her wings were the size of what to scale,
Yes,
And I was like,
remember that.
why? That was the most suicidal thing I could ever like have done. My friend Mariana helped me, and it
Yeah.
was made with wire and car tint to be light, but
Hmm.
still it was a pain, and it kept like hitting people in the face with it, and it's
Yeah.
such a tragedy.
That's something that you don't wear on a con, especially for a
Mhm.
con that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine
Yeah.
is the blasters of Kaisa. The
Mm.
Star Guardian Kaisa. You know, Kaisa has that big blasters at the back. Yeah, so I had that, and it's heavy because it's 3D printed. And then I just walked and it fell, and it like fell apart. So I had to put them all together again. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's heavy.
Props are definitely especially for especially these days, props always are getting like bigger and
Hmm.
more detailed and
Yeah,
Oh
so much
yeah,
you
heavier.
need a handler, and
yeah.
like I had a handler that's my handler's really bad, and I had the Ted Saiga from Inuyasha, and that was I couldn't see because my contacts were like solid, so it was just
Mhm.
walking, and the thing comes to here on me,
Mhm.
and so I wore it to one con, and then it I thought I had it. I almost hit a lot of people, and then my daughter wore it to another one, and I picked it up, and I was like, "Here, I'll show you the trick to holding it." And I had it like this, and they're like, everybody looked at me like I almost hit someone, showing her the best
Yeah.
way to hold it. But
Yeah.
and I'm
It's
gonna have
still
fun this next one. I don't even know how I'm gonna carry it around. It is massive.
Yeah.
So I'm really gonna need my handler to, step up.
yeah. Hey,
Mhm.
handlers, normalize carrying the props for your cosplayer, please.
I
You
think
guys should.
cons these days have a certain limit to how the props should be. I mean, the
Hmm.
measurement of the props, like AX.
Dimensions.
Yeah, the dimensions. AX has
Hmm.
a certain limit to how big your props should be. So because yeah, AX can be very crowded, and if you have a big
Mhm.
Oh,
ass
extremely, yeah.
prop, you could just like swap everybody, you know.
Hmm.
So
My
Right.
first year at San Japan, oh my goodness, I kept hitting everybody with my hawk swings over and over again. I felt so bad.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
hope that
see,
they know that it wasn't your fault, though.
Oh no, they're really light, so they just felt like the
Hmm.
feathers brush up against them. But it was so funny because they just kept getting whacked and like, "Hey Hawks, watch your shit." I'm like, "Sorry, I can't help it. I got
You can't
grips."
help it.
I
You
always
have
get the big people like, oh sorry, the ones with like they just stand to the side. The really big props, a lot of people just stand to the
Mhm.
side and just kind of stand there and get pictures, and then
we just
take
stay
it
there.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
camp. It's like I'm
yeah,
camping here with my big prop.
and then
Hmm.
you could just take pictures. I'll just pose.
I I would highly recommend a wagon.
Oh yeah,
Just,
wagon is
Mm,
good.
like it will be, and I honestly think that it's just, and it's not to say that, handlers can't do things, but they obviously can, but like depending on the prop, it can be heavy as hell after
yeah.
a while, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's just easier to have it on like a wagon or
Hmm.
something. This was the hard lesson for me with cosplay for sure, especially when it comes to props and weapons, is to think in
Hmm.
parts. I
Yeah.
made my first lancer that I made was so big it didn't fit my car. It was one piece. I had to leave it at home.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I had to leave it at home. It was from Fate. Fate
Hmm.
Go, the character of Skaha,
Hmm.
the Queen of the Land of the Shadows. And I made her Lancer, and it just couldn't fit my car. It was made of a PVC pipe,
Oh
Hmm.
and
no.
it was enormous. It was Warbler and
Hmm.
PVC. I remember. Oh gosh, it was so jank. Now that I think about it,
And you know what else is big? This ad slot that we have to do.
The what? Oh.
That was a
Yeah.
horrible segue.
Yeah.
ah,
That's
That's
the
the
only reason why
point.
I packed. like we segued into where Dankapus took over, so I kind of stepped away and was trolling in the comment section.
Yeah.
But we have obligations that we got to get over. All right, so today's podcast is brought to you by actually Colossal Con this coming weekend in Round Rock, Texas. For those of you that aren't going to Colossal Con, Texas, go to Colossal Con,
Hi,
Texas.
Colossal Con.
That's right, Colossal Con. They
It's
won
fun.
our convention of the year for 2023. So can they pull it off again and win our convention of the year? We're also brought to you by the Ravens Flock. Check out the Ravens Flock on YouTube. They have the Ravens, they have the Black Files. They are just as committed to the community as we are when it comes to talking about issues and problems in the community and help fixing them. Also, we will be at OniCon this year. That's
Nice.
right. We are bringing back the Super Cosplay Dating Game Show, and we
Nice.
are reintroducing the Money in the Bank concept as part of the panel. How does that work, and what role does it play? You'll have to find out. This panel is exclusive for OniCon.
Nice.
Also, we are taking nominations for Cosplayer of the Year. One more thing, we have 2 specials coming out. We are interviewing Ministry of Otaku. For those of you that know, you know. That's going to be an interesting interview. Plus, we have a special on San Japan on how it's a special interview where we're going to talk about how San Japan is pissing a lot of people off.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, incredibly.
That's right. Geeks 5 Ever, the voice of the voiceless, willing to burn. That's a bridge that we are unfortunately willing to burn to get our point, to get our voices heard. So yeah, back to the whatever y'all were talking about.
Yeah, we got a brand new hot spanking question. Speaking of pain, what is your go-to painkiller for cons? Mine is ibuprofen, says Mr. Jose Lopez. Anything like topical or like a pill or also hi Lele. That's another queen, Lele.
Painkillers, like the regular over-the-counter Advil, that works for me, or Tylenol. It depends. I usually get a lot of headaches because of wigs, and yeah, the wigs. Because I don't want my head to be constricted, and I get migraines because of that. So I stopped wearing wig. What do you call it? Wig caps. I don't wear wig caps anymore because of those headaches. But I used to take a lot of Advil, or I do it. I take it in advance before I even have the headache, just to be sure. Yeah.
A good tip for wig headaches is actually when you take your compression wig, which is different from the net wig, you can cut a little slip on one side, and that like helps reduce wig headaches, and it still stays on your head the same.
Oh. Okay.
So Missy, what about you? Your go-to painkiller?
Vodka and Tylenol.
I don't think you should taking those together.
They don't go together.
I think that's you should not be taking those at the same time.
It's all right.
It's
my liver forgives me. My liver forgives me and stuff. But yeah.
I saw in the comments, fight them,
guys.
I saw in the comments, fight the headache, fight them.
Fight the headache.
Fight the headache.
I think that it is a great answer. If it works for you, it works.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever works.
Yep.
Blossom, what's your preferred painkiller for conventions?
What's a painkiller?
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness.
The child is used to pain.
No, don't hurt yourself. That's not demure.
No, I swear I don't take any painkillers. I always pack them, but I never use them for some reason. Like I never use them.
Just kind of forget, or you don't really need it.
It's more so like I was raised like you don't need painkillers unless you're crying and you can't move and it's unbearable amount of pain. If it's just something minimal, just wait it out and it'll go away. I'm stubborn like my mother in that regard.
Yeah, no, I get that. And
She's
it's
a
kind of a
fighter.
good. I wouldn't say it's
Mhm.
good, but I would say it's like it's definitely something that you want to do if you want to avoid like a dependency on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
makes sense.
Now let's ask Faye your preferred painkiller.
I kind of bring ibuprofen as well, but I honestly, there hasn't been that many times I've actually used it.
Mm-hmm.
To be frank, it's one of those things that it goes in the kit with the bobby pins and
Mm-hmm.
the booba glue, and oh gosh, I call it booba glue. The skin glue.
We love you, skin glue.
I call it booba glue.
Mama, this is a PG thank fucking stream. You can't say that, Mama.
He keeps things in the right place, okay?
Yeah, it's
Right, okay.
mature. We're not being.
I'm mature.
We can't be that.
Okay,
We could
we're
try to
ready.
be PG. We can try our best.
We can
Nah.
try our best. The
I'm just
skin
I'm just
glue. The
I'm
skin.
just pulling
Skin
I'm just
glue.
pulling Mama's leg. Mama knows I pull her leg all the time.
It's better than the titty glitter.
Yo, I love titty glitter. Hey, look.
You're
Hey,
gonna
now.
call the
You
cops
don't. You
on
got.
me.
You can't be that mad at us.
Okay, I have something I want to ask y'all.
I'm gonna calm down my
Yeah.
inner child
Ah,
here.
yes.
But to answer the question, definitely. I mean, I do bring ibuprofen with me, just in case. I used to get headaches a lot, and I
Beer.
wear my wig caps the wrong
That's how I'm
way.
feeling right now.
And I might have to actually get one to show you what I mean by the wrong way. You know
Mhm.
where the grip of the wig is, that thick, like
Yeah.
almost like
Band.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about the wig caps that have two sides, and you can put your hand through it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so for me, I prep my head in the sense of like I will like put the baby hairs and kind of like put a little bit of like either like a little light gel or something to like have them like stay. And
Mm-hmm.
then I have um the wig cap on the softer side because I yeah, it used to give me a lot of headaches,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to
Mhm.
have like a almost like a time limit with
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's one of those like almost helmet like
Helmet.
wig. Yeah, the ones that defy all gravity, those. If it
Yeah.
is one of those, then I would actually get a wig grip, but I cannot have like the wig cap on the right side and the wig grip both
Yeah.
together. It gets my head explodes. It
Mm-hmm.
really does. Like I can do it
Mhm.
for a few hours, but for like an extensive amount of time, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. It just yeah, it kind of kills me. So I
Mhm.
I I think those are the only instances I would actually use painkillers. It's always good to have things like that because you never know if a friend might need it
You
because
might need it.
the yeah, a pair of scissors. It's always important because you never know, and just like some like a needle and thread just in case
Uh
a
huh.
button
Mm-hmm.
pops or something, like safety
Safety
pins.
pins. Oh
Yeah.
my
Safety
God,
pins will
Jinx.
save your life. I'm the queen of
Jinx.
safety pins.
Yeah.
Um, I believe Missy
Yeah.
had a question that they wanted to ask the rest of us here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry I interrupted you. But
It is
yeah,
a-okay.
it's like something that I do because I struggle with once you're over 40, I'm a cosplay over 40, and there's a lot of more challenges to that. And one of the things that I do now that I know some people do it to change their face structure, but I just do it for wrinkles and stuff. Like I tape. I don't know if y'all like
Yeah.
tape or anything like
Yeah.
that, but yeah, I
Yeah.
tape. And I know some people don't like that. I don't know, but I do tape, and it's like one of those struggles when over 40. And it was like y'all
Yeah.
are talking about like, tape your boobs and shit. That's another thing. Everything sags when you're over 40 and you gotta, tape and tape,
Um,
tape and tape.
Actually, I do tape my face too, because my face is I don't know, square oval,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
anime characters have like V shape
The little
Yeah.
like
face.
heart-shaped
So
faces and
I
stuff.
use a medical tape like
Medical
this.
tape. And then do you use
Yeah.
the liquid latex over it? Medical tape and then the liquid latex over it will keep it
Hmm.
like forever.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
million IQ play as well, is like the liquid
Yeah.
latex going over it. And it really leans into the special effects world of cosplay as well. Which
Yeah.
is like,
I have a
when you
hard
get
time.
really good with cosplay, you just end up using a lot of special effects makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So you
Asian
have to.
cosplayers do a lot of those taping, face taping, and putting because they don't have eyelids, they have monolids.
Yeah,
So
not
they
all
put,
of them, but a lot of them do.
yeah. So they use lid tape. Lid
Yeah,
tape.
Mhm.
Yeah.
a lot of people use eyelid tape as well, not just
Hmm.
Asian
The one with
cosplayers.
them.
But it's also like it's a beauty thing, you know.
Yeah.
Some people
Mm.
use it because, like, over time, their eye starts to like get hooded,
Droop. Yeah.
and like the hood really like you do a beautiful makeup, and then the hood just covers it.
Covers it.
Yeah.
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 And
See, that's
so
what I
the
struggle
eyelid
with too.
tape, yeah, the eyelid tape is very recommended for people that do have that problem as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's a thing with
because
aging. That's another thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, your eyes
Yeah.
get more hooded.
Working with your age is really hard with cosplay a lot of the time, because then you want to like see what you can do. Some people like to really like, how do you guys feel about working with your body and your looks for cosplay? There are a lot of people, it's a sort of controversial topic, that a lot of people think that either you could only cosplay one character that you look a lot like, or that cosplay is like you could cosplay any character. I'm very much on the, you could cosplay any character, that cosplay is free, it's love, and
Yeah.
like
I
everyone
mean,
is entitled to it.
yeah, I think if you really love the character and you really want to cosplay that character, you can have your own take of that character. For example, your body is not too slim, and you want to cosplay a character that has a slim body. You can have your own take of that character.
I was going
I
to say the same
definitely,
thing, like a bodysuit, if it's a black bodysuit, go ahead and do like a black dress, because I know we're body positive and stuff, but it's okay to be insecure, and you work with those insecurities and you can
Right.
change them up. So yeah,
Mhm.
I was totally going to say the same thing about that.
wow, I
Yeah.
can't believe Facebook took down the podcast today, saying that we're misleading or spamming for women in cosplay talking about cosplay. Question mark?
We were just
That's
talking about
sexist.
tampons. How more women is that?
Yeah.
Um, I guess what they want to hear
Well,
is we breasted boobily down the convention hall, looking like vixens and seducing men or something.
What?
Something, male gaze. Um, I know a lot of people who think that, oh, I'm too skinny for cosplay, or I'm too fat for cosplay, or I'm too ugly for cosplay. And the reason why I asked that before we move on to the other question is, just to tell, like, inform other them presenting people and other people who are like less confident that you could cosplay no matter what.
Yeah.
It's never going to be about your looks. Like, I mean, to a lot of people these days, they think so, but it's never about that. It's about the craftsmanship and how much you love it, how much you love to do what you want to do.
Yeah, and then you don't just like what Fairy and I are always saying, do not compare yourself to other cosplayers. It's do your thing. What makes you happy? Yeah, that's
mhm.
what's important. You
Mhm.
can't compare yourself with cosplayers who are like long time doing it, and they're really looking good at it because they've been doing it for a long time. Don't
Yeah,
compare yourself. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
great. So another question that we had actually from the host from Goku Jesse is, God, I'm looking for it. How do you fend off creeps or simps? Do your
I
handlers
was
do that, or do
hoping-
you do that?
I was hoping you were gonna go to that one.
There aren't a lot of questions, but like I guess the simp bucks, you know, how many simp bucks does it take?
Yeah.
Awesome. Since you've spoke up first, how do you handle it? You know, being the youngest person here and probably being targeted a lot more by those kinds of creeps as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to touch on the previous one, then come back over here. But despite popular belief, I cosplay more male characters. Believe it or not, even though I'm a woman. It's funny because I confuse the
Yeah.
heck out of people.
Crossplay
There,
is
I-
great, you know.
Yeah, like I've had people like
Fun.
walk up to me going, "Hey man," I go, "Hey, what's up?" They're like, "Oh my god, you're not a man." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Not very demure of them to think to go, oh my
No,
goodness.
it was so funny. There was a panel at San Japan, I think 2 years ago, and it was anime intro panel or whatever. And there was a small like ooh woo or oh whoa contest, and I was dressed up as Bakugo, and I did the most femme
I'm so sorry.
voice possible as Bakugo, and I won that damn thing. It was
Can you do
hilarious.
it? Can you do it?
Give me
Ooh,
huggy wuggies, ooh woo!
oh god, I don't
And I
the
was
visceral
dressed,
reaction.
and I was dressed as Bakugo for that, so it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
could see Bakugo doing that.
Oh
but
wow.
if my boyfriend's in the chat, he will never let me live that down. Anyway, um but when it comes to creeps, if I know there's a creep, I get super overly protective over people that like I know and stuff like that, because there was like multiple creeps at a con that I went to recently, and one of them I had found out was a serial creep, and he stalked a couple of friends of mine.
Oh my
Mhm.
god, T.
And you could literally ask my handler. I was in protective mode for a solid like 4 or 5 hours straight.
Mhm.
I had my eye on him the entire time, and I am really glad I did not have my knife on me, because I was about to go stabby stab,
Mhm.
because I hate creeps. I hate them so much. Um and it honestly makes me feel heartbroken that there are people like that in the cosplay community, because there are people who are coming in who do not understand that there are people like that, and when we
Yeah.
try to tell them and warn them, they're like, no, you're just making things up. And it's like, no, it is a very much real
Yeah.
thing.
That's the worst one is always when people are like trying to gaslight you and say, "Oh my god, but that doesn't happen. It's not real." It does happen. It
Mhm.
happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like and it's also a very woman thing to talk about, is like being creeped out by people who are like stalking you, harassing you, etc. Like
Yeah.
Actually, there's a problem these days that I don't know. People don't know their boundaries anymore.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, definitely.
So
Very
Um,
can I just say something real quick as a guy?
Go ahead.
Because I know
my
this is
guy.
about y'all, but like the guys, or at least in our group, we talk about the creeps too, and
mm,
it's like
Yeah.
dude, you need to stop. You need to stop
Mhm.
doing that. Because there was a cosplayer who went by Masashi something, something X Chronicles. He had a YouTube channel. He got outed because so there was a rumor going around that he uh had a crush on a girl, and he was buying her a lot of inappropriate gifts, and turns out she was underage, and he was
oh,
pulling her by the arm, and he kissed her and everything.
mm,
And
Whoa.
so we didn't have any proof, but we had, like, this is the kind of guy, like, dude, you need to stop. Like,
yeah.
he was crying over like women like they were property, like, oh my god, her boyfriend stole her from me and shit
Oh
like
wow.
that. And like, honestly, guys, if you see one of these dickheads doing something, being weird, like the fucking dickhead from last year who was hitting on the 15-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Let us
Yeah.
know. Just let us know, because at this point, like, it's like someone's gonna get their ass kicked. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah,
Right.
if I see that same Alucard cosplayer who is acting all like nuzzly with me my first year at San Japan. By the way, I was
Yeah.
dating someone at the time, and he was like rubbing shoulders with me and just being really, really gross and hinting at doing an 18 plus photo shoot with me when I was underage. Anyway,
Oh god.
Wow.
If I see him or if he tries to engage with me, I know who I'm texting. I'll be like, hey, come get me,
Right.
come save
Yeah.
me, because I'm scared
Um,
he's gonna be there this year.
mhm.
Um, one thing, and I honestly have to follow my old damn advice because I'm too nice to people sometimes. Um, in the sense of like, I always try to give people a chance because the way I see it is like, sometimes you misinterpret people, and I try to give the benefit of the doubt to
Yeah.
people. But when it reaches past that, I think we have to like clearly communicate and be like, you are making me feel uncomfortable.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to address it. You need to
Yeah.
let them know, let them be
Right.
aware.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing is if you see a bystander, you can like, because there are people that corner you. So this happened to me at Comic Palooza this year. It was like I was always with somebody. The one time that I got separated from the group, I was like, I swear this is awesome.
Mhm.
Um, I had a person who asked for a photo, which is like, okay, cool. And I'm
Mhm.
like right in front of the Comic Palooza banner. Um, and I took some photos for that person. And then I'm like, okay, thank you. And I start walking, to go um to like what we call the photographer's pit, like where like most of the photographers and close to the general admissions. I think that's what it is, like that big with the
Information.
red couch. Yeah,
Yeah.
information stuff. Yes. So I'm walking back to go to that direction, and this guy is just like walking with me. And he's like, "Hey, so do you live here?" And like, and like he's asking me all these personal questions, and I'm like, I, like at first like I don't know you, and like I don't want to like I took a photo with you, and I
Mhm.
feel like I appreciate that you like my cosplay and stuff. That's cool, but he is just like walking with me,
Mhm.
and I actually had to go to Greg Kruger cosplay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I asked Greg, like he saw that my face looked a little panicked. And
Yeah.
I went straight to Greg, and Greg kind of was like, "Hey, dude, can you like let go of her?" And like
Mhm.
he went away, but it took me go to Greg for this guy to stop following me.
Wow.
And for him to like understand I don't wanted to talk to him because
Yeah.
I didn't know that person. And it's never okay to hang around someone
Mhm.
unless they invite you out of their own
Yes.
free will. Don't
Yes.
ever assume to walk or hang around a person because
Mhm.
most likely, they are happy that you like their, unless it doesn't come from them. But if you notice that they're not talking to you and they seem scared, don't hang around them. Don't
Uh-huh.
Right.
linger. Don't like um those are clear like they're trying
Sign.
to
Mhm.
establish a boundary. That is a sign. And
Yeah.
but I should have said, you are making me uncomfortable. Please leave me alone. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah.
I like
That's
the
what
And
you
option
it,
should be
Missy,
saying.
the how
yeah,
That's
they would
hard to
deal
do
with it.
sometimes.
yeah, it
That's hard to
is.
do sometimes.
It is. We
Like,
are taught to be nice to people, and that's the thing. I don't want to be rude to people. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
jerk to people, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or maybe you can just say, "Hey, I don't want to be rude, but I
Mhm.
don't really feel comfortable."
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think it's rude to set a boundary. I don't think
yeah.
it's rude to tell people like, hey, like please go don't do that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
yeah. One of
Yeah,
my
but
go-tos. One of my
Mhm.
go-tos is always acting in character. Like if I'm Bakugo, I can be mean as I want, and people
mhm.
will get over it because I'm that character. So like, hey,
Yeah.
get the fuck away
yeah,
from me. That's what
I
I
was
try to
Scammy from
do.
Street Fighter, and it was just weird that he was just hanging around, and like it was sad
Mhm.
that I had to go to Greg or find somebody so that this person can like leave me alone, which
Mhm.
is just like there's a clear sign right there. I wasn't talking to him. I was like kind of walking, and like it was very clear that I was uncomfortable. So much so that I didn't have to tell Greg I was uncomfortable. He saw it.
Yeah. You saw it in your face. If
Yeah.
it's like affecting you, it's giving you anxiety. I've had stalkers. Yeah, I've had stalkers before, and every convention that I go to, I would see the same guy, and it gave me anxiety problems to the point that whenever I have a guesting, I knew that that person is going to be there, and that gave me anxiety problems, and that is not healthy anymore. So yeah, so
Mhm.
I had to talk to that person that he's not doing the right thing. He has to know his boundaries, but he kept on going. So yeah,
Mhm.
to the point that my husband talked to him. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really bad. So
That
stalking.
same person was also doing the same, like was also using other people to find out where she was.
Yeah.
So he
Terrible.
would like, yeah, yeah, I was one of the people he would be like asking, so hey, are you going to this convention? It's like, oh no, Peachy and I are not going to this convention. And because we are
Mhm.
dual,
Yeah.
most of the time we are together. There are instances that we are not together or we happen to be at different cons, but
Mhm.
majority of the time we are at the same convention. So he was just like, oh, what con are you gonna go to? And he would ask, is Peachy gonna be there?
Yeah.
And but I thought nothing of it because I didn't think, I thought it was just like, oh, you wanted to come, um, support our Peachy and Fairy account and
Yeah.
like come to see us. But I didn't know. It wasn't until he was going to a con, had bought tickets to it, found out
Mhm.
that Peachy was going to be in a different one,
Yeah.
and he ended up going to the same one that she was at.
Mhm.
Didn't care about the other con. He had already purchased the pass and everything for it.
Yeah.
And it just got really creepy. He followed a
Mhm.
friend of mine who was working in the cafe.
Yeah.
Um and the same
Right.
thing, like she was on her break, just
Mhm.
walking on her break to try to get some food or something, and he's just like walking with her where
I
Yeah.
don't
she's
want
by
to like
herself.
interrupt you guys, but
Yeah.
I am gonna have to go. But I did really want to speak on this before I
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
Um, I, having been a cosplayer for so many years, like a very, very long time, I've definitely had my fair share of stalkers, people harassing
Yeah.
me, a lot of like unwanted, unsolicited attention. When I
Yes.
was 18, I had like a Deadpool cosplayer. It's always a Deadpool cosplayer, right? A Deadpool
Mhm.
cosplayer walk up to me and go, "Wow, I could fuck you right now." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm 18. I'm here with my girlfriend. Kind of not comfortable with that." And very, very young age is kind of putting out that boundary, like, haha, I'm not comfortable with that. And you know,
Yeah.
I want to say that like everyone should just speak up. If something happens, if someone does something to make you uncomfortable, speak up and
Speak up.
get
Yeah.
mean. Like it doesn't matter if people think that you're like not demure, not coquette. Get mean. Say, hey, that's weird. I don't like that. I don't care if it makes me seem bitchy, but
Yeah.
please don't do that. That is my space. That's my no square. Don't touch
Yeah.
me. Um,
And
and
I'm sorry.
mhm,
Um, I wanted to also add, because this has been
mhm.
going on in with several cosplayers, and it's the same people.
It's always,
So
yeah, it's the same
it's
people.
always the same people. And
Um,
what I suggest is if that happens, report it to the convention owners.
Yes, you definitely have
Then
to, and that's the biggest thing right now is a lot of convention owners, a lot of conventions do really want to get rid of these people, but they
yes,
can't unless you say something and you have to report it.
yes,
But you
we
also
have
have
to
to get the
report it.
person's name. That's the
Yes.
thing. So you do have to ask them, "What is your name? Hey, can I get your name? Oh yeah, give me your name
Mhm.
and phone number. You want to like you're making me uncomfortable. Give me your name and phone number so that you can report them. So that these
Yeah.
people are no longer at conventions." And
Yes.
I've had to do that a few times
Hmm.
for ever
Yeah.
since I started coming to Texas. But
Hmm.
as a person that this happens to extremely often, just hold your ground. And it's about self-respect, and it's about also like loving yourself. Like do not just like if someone says something weird, just call them weird. Just
Yeah.
call them weird, and make sure other people know as well. Like tell your friends, tell people this guy's a creep, and like just make sure people know this guy's a creep. Like I know so much about so many people being creeps and being horrible that like people thought I ran the cosplay black book because I know so much about people being gross and people being creeps. Um, that's kind of why they even I was sort of put on here was I just know so much about so many things and so many people just being here for so long.
Yeah. I think
And
that's a good topic to really delve into.
mhm.
It needs to be addressed.
It needs to
I
be
think there was
addressed.
a confusion, and there is a confusion with some people that because you see someone on social media, they think, "Oh, we are friends. We know each other." That is not
Yeah,
true.
the
That
parasocial
is,
aspect of having
yeah,
followers and stuff.
Yeah.
But
that there is
I'm
a
gonna have to
clear
dive into that later.
difference.
I really have to go right now.
Mhm.
That's why Mr. Captain Mexico came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna let Dankapus run it all night, but I gotta take over for. I'm gonna take over. So she's tagging now. I'm tagging in.
The video, the issues with the internet for whatever weird reason that was, and the airport having to. If you're going to Colossal Con, the NorCal cosplayer Poos is going to be there.
Mm.
Come see us at Colossal Con. We're doing a bunch of panels. We're having a kick-ass party. We're all gonna party it up at the water park rave. So guys, like, if you want to hear my opinions on the creeps and the weirdo, and even find out who some of the creeps and weirdos are in the Texas area, let me know. I'll be there.
Join the Discord.
I'm
Yeah.
lurking and I'm stalking. I see your every move, not on purpose though. For some reason, people just tell me these things. Ladies, I see your comments. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm lurking and I'm stalking when you least expect it.
Yeah.
I
So no,
see
we're
you guys.
so you guys definitely. It's so the creep stalker thing is something that we try to address every year, multiple times a year, right? And unfortunately, it's one of those subjects that people they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to address it. It's kind of like, okay, well, it's just like one person. Um, it's something that we have to address because people don't realize a lot of us are getting older, and a lot of us have kids now. Are
Yeah.
are gonna have kids. Are about to be parents.
Mm-hmm.
I have a daughter who's 5 now, who will be
Oh,
6 next year, and yeah, this is her. This is her during Halloween.
Oh,
Sweet. Oh, she's so cute.
no.
So like people keep asking me, when are you gonna like start bringing her around the cons? I'm like, I'm not until she's 18 at least, because for one, this
You
community, like
know.
the community, kind of sucks. So here's the thing: there is a convention where supposedly somebody was escorted out for taking upskirt photos.
Oh, I remember those. Wasn't it? I don't know if I can say name of conventions.
I can't remember the name of the convention in the live stream.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Yep.
so I will post in our little chat.
Yeah.
oh yeah. Yep.
So here's the thing, and like that's the reason why I asked, and I know that was like a question that was meant to be asked a lot sooner, and I know a couple of y'all were like anticipating that, but like when it comes to the whole stalker creep, let's just put it out there, it's not just one gender that's
It's
that's doing all
all
that.
Yeah.
It's pretty universal, and that's why we have handlers, that's why we have friends, uh that's why it's crazy, because there's this dude who his mentality is that, oh, I'm talking to you, we're friends, I bought you gifts, you're obligated to give me a chance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what in the mouth breathing bullshit is that? Okay, you're okay. So we are gonna start wrapping up pretty soon. There's a lot, so that's why I feel like we are gonna do a part two. And
Yeah.
everyone here is welcome to come back. But to kind of like when it comes to the whole creep thing, guys, and this is to the audience, not towards my guests. It's something that we got to start looking out for people because this is because the internet has made this much more like we're more aware of it now. Like
Mhm.
before it was like just we have like videos, pictures,
Pictures.
text messages, like screenshots, all that kind of crap. And it's important that we make sure everyone's safe because we have a new batch of cosplayers coming into the community. And we don't
Mhm.
want them to get the wrong message. Like, hey, this is I'm 36 now. People, a lot of the new generation doesn't realize it, but when we were nerds, when we were anime fans, we didn't have otaku, we didn't have the term weeb. You
Yeah.
were you were a closeted nerd. You were in the closet, and if you weren't, you got your ass kicked because you played Yu-Gi-Oh. Like you were just a regular anime fan, or you're a weeaboo. Those of you that don't know what weeaboo is, it's like weave but worse.
You're my weird.
You talked about that on the podcast before last. You went and you dived into that. If
Oh yeah,
y'all
like
don't watch
people.
it, y'all should watch it.
Oh, we like so we have a couple specials. Like we did one about so we were talking about Ministry of Otaku, right? And we're gonna do an interview with them. So guys, when you watch the episode with Ministry of Otaku, we're not gonna bully them, we're not gonna like corner them, we're not gonna like pick on them, right? We're gonna actually do an interview and see what really, what makes the guy tick, because I really would like to know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So there's a video where there's a Tifa cosplayer. And I know somebody has to leave, so I'm gonna be real quick. There's a Tifa cosplayer and she has a sign, and it was at Anime Matsuri. And it says fetish fetishizing lollies equals pedophilia. And the dude is filming, he's like, "Boo!" The first thing he says is, "Boo! Are you trying to start a fight?" Like he's literally following her saying, "Are you trying to start a fight? You want to fight?"
Oh,
And I'm like, bro, you're
that's
not.
horrible.
So we dug deep into like lolly history. So it's called LollyCon. Then we dug deep into like Japan's actual history and problem with child pornography.
Yeah, y'all did.
Mm.
And
I
like
learned a lot.
we found out that child pornography in Japan was outlawed in 19 they tried to outlaw it in 1999. I think it was outlawed in like early 2000s or 1999. But possession of child pornography was not outlawed until 2014.
Oh wow.
So they gave
Really?
everyone a 2-year grace period to turn in all child pornography. That is why the creator of Roni Kenshin got caught and arrested. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but
I did hear that.
we were supposed to get another Roni Kenshin series.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like you had a 2-year grace period to turn it in, no questions asked, no jail time, no prosecution, no
Wow.
slap to the wrist. We found that out, and we found out they have like not just idols but junior idols.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. So we're gonna do another special on that,
Yeah, that's
and
so cringe.
we're gonna do one on. We're gonna do a part 2 of Queens of Cosplay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Queens of Adult content because with cosplay now, there are a lot of people that do OnlyFans. They do adult content. Landscape has changed, and the landscape will continue to change.
Right.
At one point,
Yes.
female cosplayers were called fake fans. Remember, this is probably before y'all's time, but when there were like female cosplay models who would they were cosplay models.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people were oh, they're not real anime fans. They're fake. They're fake. Like fake gamer girls. Like you don't really
Yeah.
hear that anymore. But 10 years ago, you did hear that.
Mhm.
10
Yeah.
years ago, you heard that a lot.
Yep.
The landscape is changing. It's always growing, and we have to address the issues that come with it if we want to help make it better.
Right. Yeah.
Like we're going to be at Colossal Con. One of our panels is about mental health awareness.
Hmm. That's good.
It's really important. It's really important.
Very important.
Very important.
Right. For that panel, I will be 110% sober. I have another panel that's called "Do Anime Fans Secretly Hate Anime?" For that one, I will be 100% drunk.
This I
Cheers to
got
that.
It's like, and trust me, if you meet me and it's past 8 o'clock at night, don't expect me to remember. What?
Yeah. See, okay, you said 8, and that's like the magic number. I tell people at conventions because everybody's kind of stiff. I was like, after 8, people get really nice, and that's when I meet people. It's always after 8 is when I
Mhm.
meet people and hang out with people, and like it's always after 8, and that's like the magic number. And I was at Delta, I was at the bar, and I was like, it's 8. And they're like, no, it's not. They're like, everybody's nice. Like, wait, I met so and so after 8. I met this person. I hung out with this person after 8. They're like, you're right. 8 is like the magic number.
a number. Hey.
That's
Yeah.
how the time of the day determine, because people have asked me, "Hey, Mexico, what's up? Are you drunk?" I don't know. What time is it? Is it 5? Yeah, I'm drunk. But like, I just want to say thank you. There's so much we have to like. There's still so much to talk about. I know it's getting late for for a
Yeah.
couple of y'all. But I want to say thank you. So we're gonna have a chance. We're gonna start with Peachy because Peachy's got to go first. So I want you to plug in all your social media, all your links, all the links. By the way, guys, they're in the description of the YouTube video. I want to give a shout out to everyone that watched on YouTube and Discord, and I'm sorry, Twitch. We
No,
had people
ma'am.
watching on
Nice.
Twitch. We had people watching on YouTube.
Wow.
Whenever we share a comment, it shows what platform they're commenting from.
Nice. Aw.
That's cool.
So thank you, everybody. But let's go ahead, Peachy, plug in your social media, please.
Okay, I'm Peachy Pie Cosplay. I'm at Instagram and Facebook. I have TikTok also. Soon to be Twitch in the future, in the near future. And also we have Peachy and Fairy. That's also in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Also, yeah,
We're starting on YouTube.
yes, starting on YouTube.
All right.
Go ahead, Fairy.
Bye. Bye, Mama Peachy. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We look forward to having you back.
Yes, I enjoyed this very much.
We'll dedicate an entire episode to creeps. Creeps.
Creeps.
Okay. Have a good
They're-
evening. Thank
they're
you.
This is how they're watching the video right now.
We should be in flame. Bye.
So, all right.
No, Mama Pixie, the same stalker that Mama Pixie, yeah, the Mama Peachy has. He was at Delta.
No way.
Yeah.
Was he?
I'll tell you about it later.
Oh,
Yeah, because we're
God.
still live. We're still live.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it
Yeah.
later.
I do have a question for
yeah.
y'all that's like completely off of that topic. Okay, I don't have a lot of like like I said, I've been cosplaying maybe since my 30s, maybe 7 years. I don't know. But I don't know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people in the community. And the thing that I've been hearing a lot is, what is the cosplay mom and the father and sister? What is that? Is that like a new thing, or just explain that one to me real quick?
So that's not new, but essentially the cosplay mom and dad are like like your adopted parents. You find like it's usually somebody that's older that becomes like a mentor that takes you under their wing and they look out for you, they take care of you, they make sure you're safe, and they, depending on the role, they might feed you, give you a place to stay, give you a ride home, bring you along,
Make sure you're
discipline you.
okay.
Yeah, that's Mama Pixie, because she adopted me after the Kimo
Yeah.
Hawaii fashion show. Mama Peachy, because she was also in the fashion show. And then I'm a cosplay mother and adoptive mother as well. I have kiddos, friends of mine that I helped raise that are in high school who call me their mama, and I have college friends who are younger than me that I am their mother to. He knows one of my children. So,
Yes.
yeah, one of my children, EJ Nimona Cause on Instagram. She kept calling me mama in front of him, and he was like looking at me and looking at her. She's like, "Wow, your mom looks pretty young to have birthed you." She goes, "Oh no,
Hey,
it's
like,
my adopted mom."
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I was like, damn, your mom ages like a fine wine. Is that really your
Yeah,
mom? No, she's my cosplay mom. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so
Because
thank you
y'all
for
look the
clearing
same
that
age.
up because
yeah.
I think that it the last convention uh my my person may have like we were trying to figure out why we were being called this. We were like, I don't understand, like father and maybe mama. I don't remember what it was. So I was a little
You were
confused.
adopted.
Yeah,
You
and I
were
asked a few people,
adopted.
and no one like I asked a few people. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, it's got to be a thing because I keep hearing it. So
You are
thank y'all
now
for
Mama
clearing that up.
Missy.
It's
You are
not
now Mama
like,
Missy.
yeah, your mom
See?
is. I'm gonna call
You're
you
Mama
mommy.
Missy.
Mama Missy. Peachy
That
and
sounds
I,
good.
it's more of like a term of endearment. That's kind of how I see it. Because I tell everybody that Peachy is my sister. I mean, obviously we're not sisters because I was born in Brazil. She was born in the Philippines, so there's no way. But we're like almost like we're kind of like sisters to each other. We have the same birthday. Strangely enough, yes, we have our birthday is the same day. We are almost the same size, and we have a lot of things in common. So we kind of became cosplay sisters. Um, but it's more out of like consideration, and you will hear me call her Ne-san, kind of like anime kind of thing comes from One-san, which is like older sister, which is a form of endearment, and I will call her Ne-san more than Peachy, which is it's more of a habit.
Hmm.
But I think it's really sweet because it shows a little bit of like closeness and endearment. Um, I don't ever take as like, oh, you're people are just calling you old. No, they're just kind of like it's almost like it's a sweet form of like she said, like it's looking after other people and kind of just because you've been here longer and have been through the ringer with cons and other things, you kind of just try to help them and help them not make as many mistakes and kind of just like help them out a little bit so that they don't struggle as much, and you might know certain tips and things that might help them out. So um a lot of those mom and dad and taking care of people, we always joke around saying that um there are con moms, and that's always there's a friend in the group that is the mom of the group because she's always worried about everybody and checking on everybody. um, which I actually have. My best friend is younger than me, and she acts more like a con mom than I actually do because I'm a little bit too scatterbrained and I get distracted
A
very easily.
Marina. Marina.
No, Brooke,
Oh.
Charlie, yeah, yeah, it is her. She's the one that will be like, "Did you eat?" I'm like, "No." Yeah, yeah, but it's just they mean well when they're trying to make sure that he don't die. Yeah. The cosplay moms and dads, we love them. They honestly look after everybody, and everybody that is a cosplay mom and a dad. Thank you. Y'all really are awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
get yourself a Latina cosplay mom or dad,
right, then
I
mix you
mean,
some tamales and like a hey chingo.
or like, or it's like, all right, do it. What happens? See what happens, pendejo.
With
What
like
did
a
I?
chocolate in their hand. And
that's scary if you get them mad though. They're like, "Did you eat? Did you eat? Did you eat?"
oh.
remember, ladies and gentlemen,
The chocolate.
as a cosplay parent, you have to remind your adopted cosplay kids to hydrate.
Dumbass water.
That's why it'd be bad because I'm like, okay.
Well, the whole cosplay parent thing, it could also be like a leadership role. Like when you went to our party at Delta, everyone kind of relies on me to get everything together. Like Saturday, I spent almost $200 on McDonald's just to feed everybody,
Hmm.
and like everyone pitched in like maybe $40,
I
and it was
use the terms for like admiration for like people who have been in it longer, or like if I just want to adopt people because they're super nice to me.
Okay. Yeah, and
'Cause
I
it-
think like it can be just con related, just like that con, I guess. Like because I was confused, so I'm assuming that it could be like mentor all the way through con mom, or it could be just for that convention that you just met someone and you're like, hey, here we go. Because I was very confused about it. So I
Mhm.
assume it could go just like go
I
on
think it
past the
depends
con or
on
just through the con.
yeah. It depends on the boundary that you set for it, I think is the best way to say it. Cause like it's also easier for me to remember people's like names or something like that if I say Mama Pixie or Mama Meg or Mama Peachy. It just helps the names stick better if I have a correlation to them. Because hers is Fairy Leanne, or no, Fairy LeFay, but I remember her better as Mama Pixie because it just connects better in my brain as Mama Pixie. And she responds to it very, very well already, so it just stuck.
Yeah. It did. It's kind of cute. I mean, I do like fairies, so I find it cute.
So
I don't have a cat. Y'all have cats. I don't have a cat.
Well,
I got a dog.
my
I
cat's
mean-
destroying my plushie wall of Bakugos and hawks. She literally
You-
just pulled a plushie out from the closet.
You have a beer, Missy. You have a beer that you've been
I
bathing
do.
all
I
night.
mean, yeah. I have a
Yeah.
dog, but I mean, I have dogs. But the thing is, if I let them in here, they would embarrass me. They would literally like shit on the floor because they're not going to do it. That's when they're going to do it. They're going to shit on the floor when it's the most embarrassing time. It's like, okay,
They got to do it for clout. Oh, we're live on YouTube. Shit
We're
on the floor.
live.
My
yeah,
cat
that's
shoves
what
her
they're gonna
ass
do.
in my face. Like
My dog, he's a little Maltese. He's a white. He's
Oh,
he's a
my
baby. He
goodness.
likes to be carried like a baby. So real quick, we do have one more question. I kind of want to get out of the way because Haley is a new commenter.
okay.
Just real quick, what was your first cosplay and why? First cosplay ever.
I can answer
May.
that real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Mine's May from Overwatch.
Why?
Why? Okay, this one is going to. Okay, back then, okay, this is. I don't know. This sounds. We're going to body positivity, and you can cosplay whatever you want to. And back then, I was very insecure, so I went with one of the cosplays that bigger girls did. I weighed like 100 pounds more than I do now, and so that was why it was my first one. And I don't like that. That's why. But it was where I was comfortable. It was Summer Games May. So I was in pajama pants and a sweater. And that was the only way that I was comfortable to get me out and start cosplaying. So that's what I would consider my first because it was at a, convention.
Yes, cosplay is all about body positivity.
Mhm.
Remember, only change yourself if that's what you want. Don't do it because
Yeah.
somebody else.
And I mean, but
bullied you.
it's okay to be insecure because I tell people like, oh, they're like, I want to cosplay, but I'm a little insecure. And I feel like I'm like pressuring them, like, oh, nothing should stop you, nothing should stop you. But it's okay to have those insecurities. And like we talked about, to if you need to switch the character that you want to be comfortable, then that's okay too. You don't have to be pressured into doing like a character that just to feel like I don't know how to put it, like you can adjust your cosplay to where you feel comfortable to your body type.
And
Yeah.
also
So
your
because
skill
it's okay
type
to be insecure.
and your skill type if you like make
Mhm.
your cosplays, because that's what I
Body
do.
body type doesn't always define like you as a person or your popularity or as a cosplay, right?
Right.
Once there was we were at Allcon and I dressed up as a T-Rex and I was trying to be funny and stupid. Nobody paid attention to me. I was like, all right, I'm sweating like a Mexican while wearing this. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna go put on my poncho and sombrero. As soon as I put on my poncho and sombrero, like a bunch of people started surrounding me. Oh my god! And this one dude, man, pretty. I'm talking about like an 8 pack, model pretty, comes up,
Dang.
bro. I know you. You're like an inspiration to me. I'm like an inspiration for what? Being an alcoholic? And he like I inspired him to cosplay and become a. I'm like, bro, I'm not even close to like what the hell. All I do is dress up in a poncho and sombrero and drink and walk around and act stupid.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Can I say one thing to this question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Happy birthday, Haley.
Aw.
Oh,
It's her
happy
birthday.
birthday!
Like her
Oh, happy
birthday's
birthday!
Friday.
Oh, happy
She'll
birthday.
be 25.
All right.
Aw.
Do you want us to sing you cumple mañanitas?
Yes, please.
All right, not right now. I gotta find. I gotta look up the song real quick. Oh God, I'm having a fart moment right now. Uh, Fairy, what was
Yeah.
your first cosplay and why?
So the first cosplay that I attempted to make was Spider-Gwen, which I bought a kid's oversized Spider-Man shirt. I cut it out and I tried to make the inside of a hoodie with. I got some yoga pants and I stitched the pattern in the back. And then I put it together and it looked so bad and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Um, so then I ended up this was when Arrow was airing and I did the Arrow Black Canary Sarah Lance version of Black Canary. That was the first time I actually cosplayed. So I wanted to do Spider Gwen because I really I started reading her comics at that time, but it didn't pan out. I wasn't happy with the cosplay, and it's all about being comfortable with yourself. Because if you're not happy about it, then it's just going to really take away from your experience. And I felt a lot more comfortable um, with something that I put out of my closet and put together, and like I got the mask from Black Canary, and I ended up doing the Sarah Lance version of Black Canary. But also going back to what y'all were saying about cosplay, there's something that a lot of people will come to me and be like, "Well, I'm not good at cosplay." I wasn't either, and and it's like we're all learning, we're all getting better, and we're all like big. It's almost like a video game. You're upping those skills every time, with sewing, construction of like any skill in life. I have like cat hair, I think, on my face, and it's like itching so much. Anyway, um and it's something that I always see people like comparing themselves in to other cosplayers, but you really got to think of like you're comparing your level 1 skill to somebody that might be at 99. How is that fair to you? It really isn't. You are comparing something that someone put so much time and effort into getting to that level. And it really is in cosplay. It takes time to develop a skill, to get better at something. And you really can't give up. You just have to be proud of your mistakes. I used to keep so much of my mistakes to kind of laugh at it because it made me feel better that I've accomplished so much, that I've built better things, that I've made better things. Even like my makeup has gone way better than it used to be. And that's something that I see a lot of people just kind of take a step back and it's like, oh, I can't really do this because you're good at it, but I am not. And I'm like, well, you didn't see cringe me back in 2018 looking absolutely cringe and just, walking around in a closet cosplay with a fake wig that I bought at a salon, um, because I didn't know where to get wigs from. So I just went to a local salon and I bought the first blonde wig that I saw and I put it on my head and I went to the con like that. And it was a fun experience. And, like years later, here I am, like doing a lot better and considerably, like in every like wig making, prop making, and sewing, and you got to remember all of these take so much time and effort. So really, don't give up. Be your own cheerleader and surround yourself with good people. That's like the number one most important thing, is that you want to be around people who are going to lift you up, in the sense of like you want to be around positive people. You don't want to surround yourself with people who are just like always like digging on your cosplay or what you do. Be
Yeah.
proud of your accomplishments. Even if they don't look great, you know what? That spear that I made that didn't fit in my car was a lesson. I learned how to make pieces to actually make props now. So I learned from it and I got better from it. So yeah.
Can I add one thing? You give off Spider Gwen vibes right now, as
Oh
is.
yeah, I did it on purpose.
Okay, I'm about to say like this entire show is like either you purposely look like Spider Gwen or you like did it and it just happened, right? But no, you definitely have the Spider Gwen vibe. So to wrap up, final question. It is for Savvy. What is your first cosplay and why?
When I was a wee lass back in 2014, I started watching a show called Black Butler. It was my first introduction to anime, like in general, period. I was in middle school when I was probably way too young to be watching that show, but we won't go into that. In 2016, I store bought my Grell cosplay for Delta H. For my first ever convention, for my first ever cosplay, it was Grell from Black Butler because I resonated with her so much. But at the time, I totally misgendered Grell like hardcore because at the time I did not mentally understand the terms of pronouns or I didn't even know trans was a thing because I was ignorant of the terminology, but now that I'm older I know, oh yeah, Grell is a she. And so that was my first cosplay ever, and I get to relive my first ever cosplay at San Japan in 2 weeks, and I get to compete with her in my new concept of her, and I'm super excited, and I get to wield around a chainsaw and look really, really cool. And
It is. What do you
hopefully,
the teeth? Are you gonna do anything with the teeth?
I've got I have the beads, the plastic beads over there that I'm gonna try tinkering with. My sister's birthday fishing trip is this weekend, but I'll probably be able to do something next week. But I try not to do anything with them because it lisps my mouth, and I got to make sure I'm clear enough for the judges to hear me. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm super excited to see how she'll do at San Japan. This is my first ever big con I'm getting evaluated and judged on, so I'm super nervous. But we'll see how it goes.
You'll do great.
One thing with teeth, if you haven't made them before, make sure to make double check if the bottom of them, because like um if there are no sharp edges, to make sure you blunt it out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, like initially it won't be a problem, but throughout the day you're gonna be puncturing like into your actual like mouth.
Yeah. I know I've tried doing
um,
them before, but it always ended up
mhm.
so thick up here and made me look like a little duck lip. So I'm gonna have to reevaluate and do them again. But I only do the top half. I only do the top section if I do two teeth, because like it's not as visible with how much shit that is. But we'll see.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can just get like two
Yeah.
little fangs and that'll be good enough for me. So
Yeah, I guess if people don't know what you're talking about, the character has They have
teeth.
jagged
Yeah.
teeth. Yeah. So
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's why I was telling her, I was like, be careful with, like trying to be character accurate that you don't hurt yourself. Like dull them on the bottom to make sure
Yep.
that you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, don't eat with them on. I don't like. Look. I you go to
Okay,
any
Dad.
look. You go to any cosplay 101 making panel. They're like, don't hot glue your stuff together. And guess who's doing that? Me. This guy. I hot glue my Captain Mexico cosplay. Hot glued. Hot
There's no
glued together.
shame in hot glue, man. Like whatever works, works.
It did because that cosplay survived 2 years. But let's go ahead and I guess so we're gonna start with Missy. Go ahead and plug in your social media so people can follow you, watch your YouTube channel, watch you be cringe.
Oh, okay.
You know,
My YouTube channel is Lady Metal D. It is a gaming channel. It has a lot of gaming content. It's old. I'm trying to clean it back up, but yes, Lady Metal D. And then on Instagram, I am Winterfire Adventures.
I actually have the link to all of your link trees, stuff, and Instagrams on in the description of the YouTube channel. So it's in there. Uh, you know what you should do though? You should start an OnlyFans where you just sit there and drink beer, like nothing
You
else.
know,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
have to you have to promote your own like OnlyFans or pay someone else to promote it, because I didn't know that, and they're like, oh yeah, you have to self promote. You have to
Do
self
you
promote. Someone
not
just can't.
realize the purpose of a podcast is to promote your stuff?
Well, I mean, no one could when they're like, you can't type in something, you come up, you have to like self promote. I'm like, oh, okay, no OnlyFans for me. Isn't there like other stuff though, like Fansly? I guess this would be better for the adult content. Okay.
I'm saying just start one where guys pay not just guys, everyone pays $5, and it's just like a 30-minute clip of you watching TV and just drinking beer.
I'm really good at that. And now I'm like, oh man, I have been drinking beer this whole time. Jesus. You've noticed. Damn it.
I mean, like, no, so I can't drink during the shows anymore because when we had Toretto, he was one of the voices for Transformers. He was,
Oh.
I think he was G1, and we were both like drinking on the show. As you watch the show, I'm progressively getting drunk. Yeah, woo!
Oh yes. See, that's why I can't stream. I used to stream drunk, and people would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that." I'm like, "What the fuck did I say?"
Oh, you could tell when I'm getting drunk because I'll be like, "Yeah, welcome to the channel. My name is Mexico," and then all of a sudden, like, "Tas que mira vato," like, you don't know what I was like when we were young. So the more I drink, the more Mexican I get. All right, Fairy. I don't know if we got to promote your social media, but go ahead and plug yours in.
Oh, yes. So my is Fairy LaFay. So it spells like the regular word fairy. Because I've had a lot of people ask if it's like with the A and E, but no, it's like it's basically FAIRY, and then LAFEY, Fairy LaFay. I have Facebook, Instagram, and I have a TikTok. I'm just not very present on it as much as I used to be, which is kind of sad. I kind of should just get back to it. I don't know, I'm lazy about it. And I am an actress. I teach theater, and basically, I am a huge nerd. I love anime, games, cosplay. I've sold my soul to League for 10 years now, and it's kind of sad. Um, I have my friend Jose who's here, like trolling me the entire time. He was like, "Yeah, roll for ADHD," so I'm gonna do it.
Wait,
I'm gonna,
Blastoids?
yep, he's one of my closest friends.
He's also one of mine. Blastoids.
So I got a 13, Jose, on ADHD, so you're good.
So so here's the thing. We are gonna do a special on. We did a special about people that are autistic. So I am messed up. I have autism, I have ADHD, and I'm dyslexic. Like literally, if I some words I'll see them backwards, or when I'm typing in my brain, I saw myself type the word, but it's missing whenever I see the execution.
And sometimes he flips.
Yeah. Sometimes I do see, like, whenever I'm reading something, I'll see the wrong word. I think I saw one word, but it turns out it was a different word.
Yeah, but people that are dyslexic can actually think in 3D and other people can't. Have you read anything about that?
That's
Look,
kind of
I'm
cool.
just trying to survive.
That's how my
Yeah.
mom is. That's how my mom is, because she's dyslexic.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just
I just need
happy.
to stop tapping my feet.
It's okay. You have, yeah, it's, look, I'm just happy whenever I go out in public, I remember to wear shorts or pants. I don't
Hey, that's
need a
important.
repeat of Walmart. Okay. So, Savvy, you are next. You are our last guest to promote their social media.
I go by Savvy Blossom Cosplays on Instagram, on my TikTok. I have revamped my YouTube channel. I'm probably not going to post anything on it for a while, but hopefully soon. I do have a Twitch now. I'm hopefully going to start gaming or just streaming at some point. And then my Facebook is Savannah Maloney Eads. That's also on my link tree. Let me think. Yeah. Yeah. That's all my stuff. That's all my shticks.
Well, I did post your link tree in the description for the YouTube video. It should be in the Twitch as well. I'm not sure. Those of you that are watching on Twitch, can y'all let me know? All right, guys. So Monday, the regular show is returning. So one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to interview Josh, the owner, the man, the one, the only, the guy that runs fandom, that runs Etchy Expo and Anime Texas and all the other conventions. We might be interviewing him on Monday, or we might be reviewing Colossal Con. We'll be doing one of the two next week. Hopefully, next week will be the San Japan rundown. How is San Japan pissing off the community?
Ooh.
That is going to be a really good one, because we're going to dig deep into San Japan, its history. We're actually going to talk about some of its actual cheesemen, like things that I normally would not share with you guys. I don't care anymore. After that, so Wednesdays are like basic. So we're going to do another Queens of Cosplay Part 2. We're also going to do Queens of Adult content. We might even dedicate a podcast to the handlers of the cosplayers.
I think they deserve more love for
Yeah.
sure. They do a lot for us. They really, really do. And honestly, props to them. They save us. They really do.
We are, so yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. We're going to talk about um mental health awareness, also mental disabilities, like any kind of disability, not just mental. We have so many
Mhm.
things going on. We're working on so many things now. Wednesday is definitely a permanent part of our schedule now. So it's Monday and Wednesday. We don't do anything on any other week. But there is one more. We are going to talk more about creeps. That is going to have its own episode, just creeps. And the problems with anime as a whole. We're going to go back
Mhm.
into the lolly discussion. We're going to dig deeper into the history of Japan and its issue. Because if you look up lolicon, it talks about people that are interested in women that look young or younger women.
Mhm.
Shotacon is not as gray. Shotacon is very black and white. It literally says individuals that are interested in younger boys, not boys that look young. It specifically states younger boys. So we're going to talk about both. Those are going to be intense. Those are going to be crazy. Uh, Hopefully we can and fan. Well, the Queens of Adult content is not going to be called fan service, because that kind of makes it sound bad. or gives off the wrong message, but we're going to call it it's going to be called Queens of Adult Content. Like the queens who cosplay that do OnlyFans or other stuff like that. So make sure for those of you watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you're ringling the dingling button so you can be notified every time we go live with one of our interesting subjects and conversations. We will be back on Monday at 7. Every time we go live, it's at 7. We only do live podcasts. We might even start a brand new podcast. I was talking to 2 individuals about starting another podcast. We're going to cut. That one might be pre-recorded. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Oh, hit the likes. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please, because YouTube algorithm sucks. All right, guys, have a good night. Peace. Stay classy, everyone.